If you're using drugs and alcohol and you feel like it's a problem, you feel like this is something off, you may want to search out some help. It would be best that, like right now, you can go over to Google, look up an anonymous group. They have local anonymous groups in many different languages and local people that can help you. And you can just go there. Doesn't cost you anything. And just see what it's about. See if this is something they can help you with. So we've talked about it's a long journey, but just pick out an anonymous group locally. They have them in the US and France and French and Japan and Australia or whatever. So if you're watching this right now, and it's not, once again, like I said, I'm going to say it again, not because you do drugs or alcohol, but if you're out there and you just either think that it may be an issue or whatever, go and search out an anonymous group, whether it's Alcohol Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Crystal Meth Anonymous. And this is also not a endorsement to any group, because I understand that there are rules against personal endorsements against groups and stuff like that. But I support you in order to go maybe consider starting on a journey of recovery, because your life doesn't have to be the way it is right now. You did that feeling or whatever, and it doesn't have to get worse. You have nothing to lose, just your pain and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to just say. Hi, I'm DC, and this is the end of the series, I guess.
Hi, I'm Topher, and I'm trying to be more empathetic, but also I'm over Mew and Top.
Hi, I'm Edison, and phrasing also, and in sand, even though I didn't do the quiz, but I don't have to do that. Because I don't have to.
Facts are facts.
Because I don't
Right. I mean, really. I'm glad you agree. Anyway, so I would like to welcome everyone, friends, family, and everybody. Welcome to this corner of YouTube that we like to call Topher with Femmes React. Welcome to the Topher meet and greet, everyone.
$60 for photos.
We've come to an end, and we're landing this plane, and it's been a rough journey. It's been a long journey, journey that has been twists and turns and required a lot of discussion, which is always good. So now that we're here near the end, do we have any thoughts?
It has been quite a journey. Like, this has been 12 episodes of 3 months in the making. This has been 3 months of our lives, y'all. And well, actually, I was gonna say, it's been so hard for me to avoid spoilers when I've been busy over the weekend, so it's been easy to stay off social media. But I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of happy endings, which is fine, I guess. I've enjoyed a lot of the things. If nothing else, I've enjoyed the conversations that have come about as part of just this reaction process. And I've enjoyed being with these two beautiful people over here. So I'd like to thank the beautiful people of Femmes React for having me on the channel for this long and, not kicking me off after 2 episodes of me being, me. So thank you.
No. Oh my God. No. Thank you for coming and actually staying. Thank you for kicking us away. Thank you for staying and coming back.
Oh yeah, we should definitely thank Topher for being here, equally as magnanimous and beautiful. Did I use that word properly? And also, obviously, thank you to all the watchers and supporters who have joined in the discussions. I read all the comments and I'm like, I need a break. But no, it's all been very great. It's all been very welcoming, interesting. I think the discourse and the conversations have been really good. Just there are so many perspectives that I don't consider, and there's always room for more empathy in my body. So that's what I've learned, which is eye-opening. I just thought I was so kind already.
You are.
I think for this series, I peaked in episode 6 for me. I think Mew getting Top in bed and then playing that sound clip to trap him was my favorite bit of the show. Otherwise, I was kind of hoping the show would be a bit more, I don't know what the word is, like incestuous, like in terms of like.
No, that's not the word, baby.
No,
that's not the word.
No.
I mean, that would make for some drama. Maybe that is the word.
No, like
no. Let's stop and do Google right now. Definition of incestuous. Like I really feel like about this reaction, we have a chance to learn, and this is how we learn.
No, but like
the word incestuous.
You use that term when you're very close to somebody, but then you cross that line, right?
Yeah.
Like is that group friend?
But
so like
no
I
way.
just thought
incestuous is between
colloquially.
like,
I know, but colloquially, like
incest.
But you know how you're all like, we're sisters, and you know, like that. You know, I thought Mew and Ray were gonna take their relationship maybe seriously. I thought maybe there'd be a bit more entanglements in the relationship. I thought maybe Sand and Nick, they would take it a bit further than what they did. Nobody ever crossed that many lines except for Adam and Drake. Like the main characters got messy, but they didn't get in the mud. They didn't do stuff that you think about 20 years later and you're like, oh, why did I do that? You know? Like, they could have been more inter-fucking.
Like, it's also a word, yeah.
That's just all. I just had different expectations in terms of the relationship tree in the map. We just entangled back into our pillars so easily. Top could have gone after more people. Top and Nick, Top and Sand.
I more of like Sand and Nick. That was my.
But it happens in real life. Like at one point to some queer groups, they're just all like they've all done each other. I assume.
You assume.
Or at least it's happened. There's been more crossovers than what we've seen here.
All right, cool. So, any hope for the last episode? Because we left off with Boeing, and it was really funny today. I saw that Boeing was trending under business and finance and on Twitter, and then you click on it, pictures of Boeing shirtless. I was like, that's not an aircraft, but
it's my kind of business and finance.
But and I didn't read any of it. I just saw the picture.
I feel like we're setting things up where we're gonna have our happy endings for our three couples, which not exactly the outcome I had hoped for, but the
what
way
do you want, Topher? What do you want? You want all the incest?
No, I'm not hoping for their incest this episode. We can save that for season 2. I've said it so many times. I don't need any of these couples to end up together at the end of the show. And I think it would be a nice sort of subversion if that were the case, where we had at least one of them who was like, okay, yeah, we didn't quite make up in the end. But I feel like where things were going the last episode and a half was kind of leading us, like Mew and Top have already made up. They're good. They're Gucci. Nick and Boston are on the same page. Whatever the dynamic of the relationship is, they're on the same page, so they're fine. And Sand and Ray are really the only ones that are kind of in flux right now. And I feel like this episode will fix that flux. I'm fine with the idea of them being together at this point, the way they played out some of the stuff last episode and a half, but I don't need them to be together. That's fine. What I do hope for is that at the end of the year, you guys will assemble a director's cut of DC's teachable moments, because I feel like I would enjoy watching just an hour and a half straight of DC teaching us things.
Oh wow, thank you. Which is also, I really should have went into academia, but it was all about publish or perish, and I ain't got time for that. So, but Edison, what is your hopes or wants out of the last episode?
Just something surprising, something like interesting to happen, something to shake us. So I want to be shook. I want to be shook so hard that I'm like, wow, I did not see that coming. Phrasing. So, I don't know, like, it's been, the last episode was almost predictable, you know, everyone kind of making up, but I am proud of some of the life lessons some of the characters have gone through. Nick has gone I can move on from Boston. I don't need him. Okay, jokes, none. But I mean, like, yeah, I wonder if Boston's gonna see growth. I wonder if Ray is gonna get out of the other side with some self-reflections. I wonder if there's any deeper sort of character growth that we can see. Just a little bit more Yo and Plug. And I guess the friendship group have to finish their assignment. So I hope that's like actually relevant. Because it's been like a big plot point.
Let's get into it then.
Don't you got any opinions, DC?
I interview people. That is
That is my opinion.
That's the way that I've been running the last 6 episodes. The most thing that I'm interested in is the Ray storyline and how they're going to deal with his addiction and how that's going to play out. And I am reserving my opinion on that until the end, because especially in the last episode, if they were doing harm reduction, that was the one thing, but then also if he fell off the wagon, that's another thing, and how that plays out. That's the one thing that I have on my mind. I would be interested in how Chum apologizes to Boston, or if there is an apology, or if there's got to be something for that. And this is the most controversial thing. So far up to this point, Boston has been the most honest person there. Like, there has not, even though he's supposed to be like the villain of the season or whatever, he's consistently told the truth. He's like, oh, look, we're only going to do this. We're only going to do this. And like, this is who I am. I don't do this. Everybody, Muse lied. Nyx lied. Ray, of course, has lied. Sand, it broke my heart when he lied. Even though Chum did like a little white lie to her girlfriend, she still lied. And it's like, honestly, Boston so far, even though he's like sleeps around a lot, is the paragon of
I don't think we need to go. Boston was like, Nick, let's be boyfriends one day. I think that's the only lie he sort of told.
That wasn't a lie, because he was like, hey, let's be something one day. And he wasn't saying, oh, we're going to do this now. But he's just, oh, we'll do it one day. And no, we'll do it. He's like, oh, yeah, let's hang out one day.
That's not a lie.
No, you want to hang out one day. But, you know, so Boston has been the most great shooter. And he's like suffered the most. Though he didn't own up to his own thing, and he blamed Nick for being found out about the dirty shit he did. If he didn't do the dirty shit, then that's it. But I'm saying, my belief is like, okay, if you have a thief in your life, you know that you just need to lock up your jewels and whatever and keep your money when you leave the house. If you have somebody who's promiscuous, you know, just
lock up your man.
Right.
Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Right. But if you have a liar, you can't trust anything what they say. So, I don't know.
Boston lied to himself when he was like, it's your fault that I got caught. So
I said, no, he didn't lie. He just didn't take ownership for what he did.
Potato.
You're trying to like, oh no, this is no.
I busted it. It's not as bad as people have made him out to, but he's still quite bad. Like,
he's done some stuff, but for me, Boston is very much that, like, if you grew up in the early mid 2000s reality TV scene, he's that TV villain that you love to hate. He's Tiffany New York Pollard. Like, people want to hate on him in the moment, but then you go back 15 years and watch that series, you're like, you know what? I'm on New York side. New York is everything. She's been straightforward, shooting everything straightforward from the jump. That is Boston. Boston is very much that person that the general populace will love to hate, but when you actually look at him, he's not really done anything that he hasn't said he's done. He's been very kind of just up front. I'm Boston. And everybody wants to act surprised and brand new when Boston does Boston stuff. That's like, he's Boston. I'm not saying I agree with anything he's done. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying Boston's Boston. He's been up front from the jump.
I don't think Boston is qualified to receive praise of that caliber. One thing I actually wanted to see follow through, because I think in the trailers there was some sort of hint that there'd be like a sex tape scandal or something like that, or a leak. We got the background on Boston's dad, but that never went anywhere.
I thought that was
That was
going
like a
somewhere
button
too.
I wanted to push. I wanted destruction. But we never got that. We never got the dad. How do you feel about your son? Like, what happens if something leaks? Like, I just wanted the dad to be more of a payoff. Because there was
It's like a scare tactic.
It was just kind of like Mew showing how far Mew would go, and then them going, oh, okay, no, wait, Mew has some sort of morality, which is good, but like somebody else leak it. Like, I don't know. Boston's just like, I am being vulnerable now because I'm lonely. Like, because everyone hates me now, and I don't know why, but you're the only person who accepts me, and, you know, I don't think there's redemption there, but, like, he's just nicer to Nick now, so.
Are you just upset because Boston is better than Mew, and you don't like that, and you're a Mew, and you're just like...
What?
Oh, how's that tea over there?
This sounds like a private conversation. I'm gonna leave y'all alone.
What has Mew done that's so bad? Like, nothing. Exactly. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Okay.
there's still episode 12.
ใช่ป่ะเรื่องที่กูจะไปนิวยอร์กอ่ะมึงก็เลยไม่อยากมีแฟนแต่ถ้าเป็นมึงอ่ะก็ไม่แน่นะกูรู้นะเว้ยว่ามึงมีคนใหม่แล้วอ่ะกูอยากรู้ว่ากูยังมีโอกาสอยู่หรือเปล่าทำอะไรกันอ่ะงั้นไม่ต่อที่บ้านเราปะ
Oh.
Yep.
Is there a non-threesome?
I mean, I would love it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
ทำไมมึงยังกินเหล้าอยู่อีกวะเลยยังไม่หมดโปรแกรมมึงเลยนะเว้ย
ไม่เห็นเป็นไรเลยนี่กูกินนิดเดียวเอง แล้วกูก็อยู่ที่บ้านตัวเองด้วย
See, now this makes me question last episode.
มึงนี่โคตรจะบอยเฟนเหมือนเดิมเลยนะคอยดูแลเอาใจใส่แฟนเลมึงโชคดีมากเลยนะคงจะหาคนที่ดูแลแฟนได้ดีเท่าไอ้แซดไม่มีอะไร
Fact.
ถ้ามันดีขนาดนั้นเนี่ยมึงทิ้งมันไปหาท็อปทำไมวะ
I mean, let's get
โง่
to
ไง
it.
คนเราอ่ะจะเห็นของที่มีค่าก็ตอนที่เสียมันไปเท่านั้นแหละ
แล้วมึงยังรักมันอยู่ปะ
You asking? What? Say?
กูว่าเราคุยเรื่องอื่นดีกว่า
No. Let's talk about
อะไร
this.
ที่มันจบไปแล้วเนี่ยก็ให้มันจบไปเถอะ
เฮ้ยแซนรอโบอิงตอบก่อนดิ
รักดิกูรักมันทุกวันอยู่กับไอ้ท็อปกูก็รัก
Then why did you go?
แล้วมึงอะรักมันอยู่ไหม
Part of me might a little bit, but I don't want him.
มึงเล่นเฮียอะไรของมึงเนี่ยกูไปละ
Hi. Oh.
มึงตอบคำถามกูมาดิว่ายังรักมันอยู่หรือเปล่า
Do you still love
มึ
Mew?
งตอบไม่ได้
What is this interrogation?
ลองจูบกันดูไหมเดี๋ยวกูจะได้คำตอบ
Raid the police officer. Detective. Sand. Oh, Sand.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. Ray, you want to get up in this?
Oh, whoa. Just rap.
Oh, maybe
มึงรัก
some
มันอยู่
dreams do come true.
แล้วมึงรักกูด้วยปะ
Okay.
What? What are...
Child, we're not even 3 minutes and I'm already out of tea. Hold on.
This is like an eye test. They're like, which one is better? Which vision? What do you see?
And he's gonna take him
แบ
back?
บเนี้ย
What?
มันมีทางออกนะ
Of course there is.
What?
I mean, again, I've been waiting all damn series for it. Come on now. Come on with it. Y'all.
Oh, there's some piranhas in this water.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I was gonna say, let Sam up in this.
มึงจะทำเฮียอะไรก็ทำไปเลยนะ
Ah,
จะรีบไปไหนวะ
My
Sand.
Lord.
Sam, why are you ruining a good thing?
Why you gotta fuck shit up, Sam?
This is what they always do. They tease you with it, and then they take it away.
Now Sand is the villain of the season to everyone.
We were having a good time.
The audience was having a good time, not Sand.
Sam was having a good time. I could see it. I'm psychic. I can peer into his innermost being. He was having a good time.
Oh, sad.
Wow.
I'm sure there's an explanation.
I
Besides,
know.
They didn't want a three-way kiss on TV. Or
มันส
whatever.
นุกอยู่เลยสนุกแต่กูไม่ได้สนุกด้วย
Oh my God.
Should have figured out you weren't having fun like 5 minutes later.
Oh wow.
We got dressed for the quickness.
มึงเป็นอะไรอ่ะ
มึงยังกล้าถามกูอีกเหรอว่ากูเป็นอะไรอ่ะ มึงทำ
No,
เฮียอะไร
we would like to know
กู
too.
ทำอะไร มึงยังรักมันอยู่ กูก็ลากมันมาให้มึง กูแค่ขอแจมด้วยนิดหน่อยอ่ะ ไม่ชอบอ่ะ
กูไม่ชอบ
I'm not Nick or anything. No, I'm just.
มึงอยากได้แบบไหนอ่ะ มึงสองคนก็รักกัน อยากกลับไปดีกันไหม ถ้าจะกลับไปอ่ะ บอกกูด้วยนะ
มึงอย่ามางี่เง่าได้เปล่าวะ กูยังไม่ได้คิดถึงขั้นนั้นเลยนะเว้ย
กูงี่เง่าเฮียอะไรแซน กูได้ยินมึงสองคนคุยกันในร้านเหล้า เรื่องความฝันของมึงสองคนที่อยากไปคอนเสิร์ตทั่วโลกอ่ะ
I mean, Boeing was talking about it.
ยังไง
I
อะ
was just kind of there.
มันกลับมาหามึงแล้วนี่ ไปด้วยกันไหมล่ะ
มึงก็แค่แฟนเก่าเปล่าวะ ใครๆมันก็มีอดีตกันทั้งนั้นอ่ะ ทีมึงยังชอบไอ้มิวได้เลย กูถามจริงเหอะ มึงยังรักมันอยู่เปล่าวะ
กูเคยชอบไอ้มิว ใช่ กูรักมันด้วย แต่กูรักมันแบบเพื่อน แต่ของมึงอ่ะ เป็นแบบไหนวะ
But see, this not fair, baby. This not
ไม่
fair.
ต้องตอบกูก็ได้แซน
I'm gonna reserve my thoughts.
แค่กูเห็นพวกมึงสองคนจูบกันอ่ะ กูก็รู้แล้วว่ากูเป็นแค่ตัวแทน
What?
I'm
กูพูด
hold my
แบบแฟร์ๆเลยนะ
thoughts.
กูไม่ชอบที่มันมาป้วนเปี้ยนในชีวิตมึงแบบเนี้ย มาดักเจอที่ร้านเหล้า ทำบทเศร้า ใครก็ดูออกบอกว่าอยากได้มึงคืนอะหรือถ้ามึงจะเลือกมันอ่ะ ก็ช่วยบอกกูหน่อยนะ
I got
แต่
feelings.
ถ้ามึงเลือกกูอ่ะ มึงก็ไปจัดการให้มันจบๆ ไม่งั้นกูจะจัดการเอง
There's no self-realization at all here.
I'm over here.
None.
I'm a baby. You are describing this same relationship like 4 episodes ago. Like this was you and you, and Sand was out here feeling this type of way, and now the shoe is just on the other foot. Although I don't feel like Sand actually wants to pursue anything with Boeing. Like, sure, he might still love him when you had a big love of your life. It's kind of hard to let that feeling just go. I don't think he ever got closure on that relationship. So there's still something there, but I don't think he wants to be in any relationship with Boeing right now. But girl, Ray, no.
I think that Sand, yes, is in love with Bowen at a point in time, but he's not in love with him. And I think there's going to be a difference. You can love someone, you can care about him, but you don't want to be in relationship with them, because that was something special. And she shows it was something special because the way he felt about Top when he took him away.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing, people will accuse you about something they have done or they will do. It's like, this is everything that you've done. Like, you at the party was like, I'm going to be with you and with Top. And every time Top comes, like, oh my God, he's asking Sand not for him to treat him like Sand like he treated Sand. That's what he's afraid of, becoming Sand. That's all. So if you're afraid of becoming Sand, then you know you fucked up. You fucked up. You just mistreated him, and that's it. I don't know. That's it.
Yeah, sure.
You're just like, I don't know.
I mean, I understand the behavior. I understand why Ray is an insecure, jealous boy who isn't, you know, conscious of things. It's scary. It's scary to have those doubts latch onto you. And, you know, you start believing that even though Sand is there for you during your rehab and all that stuff, he's going to leave you. And then you have to deal with it on your own. I see a scared, I don't want to say pathetic. I see a scared little boy. I've grown, everyone. I've grown. Okay, but he's in the way of this three trouble. This trouble happening. I mean, come on. Okay.
All right.
One fine ass man.
Here we go.
Where's DC? Oh my god, we just missed it.
Welcome back, Goku.
Y'all did it first. Y'all did it best first.
เฮ้ยมึงกูย้ายเข้าไปดีปะวะ
No, not yet.
กูว่าก็ดีเลย
Yes.
มึงกับเพิ่งกลับมาดีกันไปอยู่ด้วยกันเนี่ย
Save your
กูว่าน่าจะรักกันมากขึ้นนะ
แต่กูว่าไม่ว่ะมึงย้ายไปอยู่กับมันอ่ะมึงก็ต้องพึ่งมันทุกอย่างเวลา
Nobody
ทำ
wants
อะไร
to
ก็
know
ต้
your
องเกรงใจ
opinion.
มันอีก
Sorry.
อึดอัดเปล่าๆมิ้วไม่เวิร์กหรอก
ไอเลมึงเป็นห่วงกูหรือมึงเกลียดมันเนี่ย
Both. Can it be both?
Right?
นี่ไอเลถ้ามึงยังเป็นเพื่อนกูเนี่ยยังไงมึงต้องเจอมันเว้ยมึงจะเจอหน้ากันแล้วมึงจะต่อยกันทุกรอบเลยหรือไง
กูแค่คิดว่าคนแบบมันอ่ะเปลี่ยนไม่ได้หรอก
ไม่รู้ว่ะกูไม่รู้มันจะกลับมาเฮี้ยอีกหรือเปล่าอ่ะแต่กูให้โอกาสก็เพราะว่ากูรักนี่แหละถ้ามันกลับมานอกใจกูอีกนะครั้งนี้มึงจะขับรถชนกูไม่ห้ามแล้ว
มันจะได้เหรอวะไอ้มิวคือไอ้เลเนี่ยก็คบกับไอ้แซน
You're all
ซึ่งไอ้ท็อป
jerks.
เนี่ยก็เคยแย่งแฟนมันมาแล้วถ้าไอ้ท็อปอยากจะเข้ากลุ่มเราจริงๆอ่ะมันก็ต้องไปขอโทษไอ้แซนด้วยนะเว้ย
Why?
ได้ปะล่ะถ้ามึงทำให้ท็อปกับไอ้แซนดีกันได้อ่ะกูจะยอมรับไอ้ท็อปในฐานะแฟนมึงแต่คงไม่ต้องละมั้งเผื่อไอ้แซน
Yes,
กลับไป
I'm
คบ
glad
กับ
we
โบ
agree.
ลิ่ง
It's
แฟ
not
นเก่า
necessary.
นะ
เดี๋ยวนะโบอิงนี่แฟนเก่าแซนเหรอวะ
ดิทำไมวะ
ก็เขาเพิ่งมาป่วนกูกับท็อปเอง
Why y'all trying to make Bond to be bad?
เล่าดิ
ลูกกลมมาก
โอ้ยกูปวดหัว
เรื่องกูยิ่งกว่าละครอยู่แล้วเว้ย
จริง มึง
Showdown.
มาทำอะไรอ่ะ
I go to school here.
ต้องหาอาจารย์เนี่ยมาลาออก
มึงจะลาออกทำไม
I thought she wanted to
ใกล้จบแล้วนี่
apologize to Boston. Okay.
กูขี้เกียจทำทีสิทธิ์อ่ะ อีกอย่างกูไม่เอกงานรับปริญญาด้วย แม่งร้อน
ไม่เป็นไร เดี๋ยวกูอ่ะเอาชื่อมึงกลับเข้าโปรเจกต์ก็ได้นะ
But
เว้ย
she never been taking it off.
มึงถามพวกกู2 คนยัง
You better say something.
กูรู้ความจริงมาจากไอ้ตอมหมดแล้วนะ แล้วกูไม่ได้ติดใจอะไรแล้วด้วย กูขอโทษนะที่กูตบหน้ามึงวันนั้นอะ
Okay.
ไม่เป็นไรอะกูไม่เจ็บ
กูขอโทษนะที่นอนกับน้องมึงอะ
No, you're not.
ที่เรื่องโปรเจกต์อะไม่ต้องนะเว้ยกูพูดจริงๆกูไม่ได้อยากได้ใบปริญญาอะไรนั่นอยู่แล้วอะ
Come on now, you just real close to.
แต่ที่กูอยากได้คือโอกาสที่ได้กลับเป็นเพื่อนกับพวกมึงอีกครั้งมากกว่า
It's like you don't want it now, but in like 5 years, that certificate might look real good.
ทำอะไรอยู่เนี่ยฮะ
เนี่ยเหรอ เรากำลังวาดแปลนรีโนเวทใหม่ให้มิวอยู่อะเราอยากให้ห้องนี้มีมุมของมิวด้วย เดี๋ยวตรงนี้เนี่ยเราจะบิวอินเป็นชั้นวางหนังสือนะ ส่วนตรงกลางเนี่ยเราก็จะทำเป็นห้องครัว เราจะได้ทำอาหารให้มิวกินทุกเช้า
นี่เรายังไม่ได้บอกเลยนะว่าเราจะย้ายมาอยู่กับท็อป
Right.
เรื่องรีโนเวทอะยังไม่ต้องก็ได้มั้ง
อ้าวทำไมอะยังไงมิวก็มานอนที่นี่บ่อยๆอยู่แล้วอะมิวไม่ต้องกลัวนะว่ามิวจะรำคาญเราอะหรือถ้าวันไหนเนี่ยมิวเกิดแบบเหม็นที่หน้าเราขึ้นมาหรือว่าเบื่อเราเนี่ยเดี๋ยวเราไปแอบของเราเองก็ได้ ไม่อยากย้ายมาอยู่กับเราเหรอโอ้ยแบบนี้น่าน้อยใจอะ
ไม่ใช่อย่างนั้นท็อปมานี่เลย เอาจริงๆนะ เราอยากย้ายมาอยู่กับท็อปนะ แต่เราก็เกรงใจอ่ะท็อปดูแลเราเปย์เราดีขนาดเนี้ยเรารู้สึกเหมือนเด็กเสียไงก็ไม่รู้อ่ะ
Okay.
Sir?
แล้วจะไปคิดอย่างนั้นทำไมอะ
Yeah.
คือยังไงโรงแรมเนี้ยมันก็ต้องเป็นของเราอยู่แล้วพ่อเรายังไงก็ให้เราทำโรงแรมต่อเราลูกคนเดียวคบกับเราอ่ะมันก็สบายอย่างนี้แหละ
ไม่เอาอ่ะเราสร้างของเราเองดีกว่า เราไปทำโฮสเทลไปทำร้านคาเฟ่เล็กๆถึงจะรวยช้าหน่อยแต่ก็
I mean, that's
จะ
fine.
มีความสุขดีอ่ะ
โอเค
You can still.
Could I
งั้นเรา
get
ไม่เลี้ย
Mew
ง
on
มิว
the
ก็ได้
suitcase?
แต่เดี๋ยวเราจะสร้างไปด้วยกันมรดกพ่อเนี่ยเราไม่เอาละเดี๋ยวเราจะออกไปอยู่ของเราเองแล้วก็เปิดบริษัทรับรีโนเวทออกแบบภายในอะไรอย่างนี้มิวคาเฟ่อะเดี๋ยวเราออกแบบให้
เดี๋ยวนะท็อปมรดกเนี่ยเก็บไว้ก่อนดีกว่าไหมฮะเพื่อฉุกเฉินทำไงอ่ะ
นี่มิวย้ายมาอยู่กับเราเถอะเรามั่นใจแล้วว่ามิวอ่ะคือคนที่เราอยากเห็นหน้าทุกวันเราอยากนอนคุยเรื่องอนาคตกับมิวแบบนี้ทุกคืนเลยอ่ะต่อจากนี้จะมีแค่เรา2 คนนะไม่มีเรื่องของคนอื่นอีกแล้ว
ก็ได้
จริงนะ น่ารักที่สุดเลย
แต่ท็อปต้องไปเคลียร์ปัญหาเก่าๆก่อน โอเคไหม
โอ้ย จะมีอะไรอี
It's
ก
like,
อะ
what I do
ใน
now?
อดีตแล้วก็เคลียร์หมดแล้วไงโบอิงก็ไม่มายุ่งกับเราแล้ว ส่วนไอ้ตั้นก็ไปแล้ว จะมีอะไรให้เคลียร์อีก
แล้วแซนอ่ะ
Oh.
ตอนนั้นเรายอมรับ เราเฮี้ยจริง แต่มีจะให้เราทำยังไงอะ
เราว่าบางทีเขาแค่อาจจะอยากได้คำขอโทษจากท็อปก็ได้นะท็อปนะได้ไหมเอาละวันก่อนเลยไหมYeah.
I mean, but the way I see it, Boeing was a willing participant in Left Sand. I don't know why Top got to go out here and apologize.
Well, also he did like it was that whole thing afterwards and like
I
in
suppose.
car, hitting him with
I
a car.
I guess. But I don't think that's what they're talking about. I guess.
I just
More or less.
Yeah, basically that's that.
I suppose. That's a nice catchphrase.
Oh yay!
มึงก็รู้อ่ะกูเล่นโรลเบดไม่เป็น
2000s. Rollerblading Barbie.
ก็กูชอบอ่ะมันเท่ดีฟีลวินเทจกูก็เล่นไม่ค่อยเก่งหรอก
Vintage.
แต่ แต่มึงผูกเชือกให้กูแบบเนี้ยฟิลแฟนรู้ปะมึงอาจจะได้เห็นแต่มุมหื่นๆของกูไม่ค่อยได้เห็นมุมหวานๆเท่าไหร่ลีลาการดูแลเอา
I
ใจ
saw
เที่ย
the
วของ
sweet
กู
part already.
ไม่แพ้ลีลาบนเตียงหรอกมึงจะมั่นหน้ากับทุกเรื่องเลยไหมก็ไม่ใช่เพราะความมั่นหน้าของกูเหรอมึงถึงติดใจกลับมาหากูอีกอะฮะ
Now's that dick.
กูยอมมาลองยืนดู
Boston, where are your knee pads? You just said you weren't good at this.
มาจับมือ
I think Boston has very solid kneecaps already, so
Well, this is how you fuck them up.
นี่ไง
Right?
ได้แล้วไม่เห็นยากเลย ไม่ยากเฮียอะไรกูจะล้มอยู่แล้วเนี่ยล้มก็ไม่ต้องกลัวแต่กูเซฟเอง
what is this t-shirt? This t-shirt is a lie. You say Boston doesn't lie? He lies through his t-shirt.
He has been redeemed, okay? This is
Oh my
Boston
God.
2.0.
What is it with you and attacking Boston all of a sudden?
Boston's like,
Just
I
because
see
I
the
said
light.
something good about Boston and not
Boston's
you?
all about love and light and hope, okay?
I'm born again Christian.
มือ
He's on his eat, pray, love
อยู่เนี่ย
journey.
Also come on soundtrack.
เหนื่อยไหมเหนื่อยดิมึงอะปล่อยให้กูเล่นคนเดียว เอาว่ากูกลัว
Ooh, unlabeled water. What have we come to?
มึงวางแผนไว้ยังไงวะที่จะไปนิวยอร์กอ่ะกูก็คงมาโรงเรียนคลาสถ่ายรูปแล้วก็ฝึกฝีมือไปเรื่อยๆอ่ะก็ดีนะมึงมีฝีมืออ่ะเสียเวลากับอะไรที่ไม่อินมานานไปแล้วแต่ทำไงได้วะคนเรามันก็ต้องใช้เวลาปะวะกว่าจะรู้ใจตัวเองอ่ะเนาะ มึงน่าจะขอกูเป็นแฟนให้เร็วกว่านี้วะทำไมวะกูยังอยากเห็นด้านหวานเน่าของมึงอีกเยอะเลยอะ
But what
งั้นเดี๋ยว
about
เวลาที่
them?
เหลือเนี่ยกูจะจัดความหวานให้มึงจนมึงต้องไปตรวจน้ำตาลเลยอ่ะไม่เชื่อ ไม่เชื่อ
It's cute, I guess.
เชื่อเชื่อแล้ว
I suppose.
It's no Sand and Nick, but it's cute.
หรือว่ากู
No.
ไปนิวยอร์กกับมึงกูจะได้ทำแอนิเมชันด้วยเผลอๆนะกูอาจจะได้ทำที่พิกซ่าก็ได้นะแล้วมึงจะไปเพื่อตัวเองหรือมึงจะไปเพื่อเป็นแฟนกูล่ะ
Important distinction.
เพื่อตัวเองดิของมึงอ่ะของแถมแล้วแต่นะ แต่มึงอย่าตามกูเลยกูมันพวกไม่ชอบวางแผนไกลคิดวันนี้ทำพรุ่งนี้มึงตามกูไม่ทันหรอกมีความสุขกับปัจจุบันดีกว่ามึงและเวลาที่เหลือเนี่ยกูขอเป็นแฟนที่ดีให้มึงก่อนแล้วกันนะ
Again, Boston's just being honest.
Right. And then it was, he always tells people around, especially
วัน
with
นี้
Nick,
พี่กระต่ายจะ
Don't
มาสอน
come for me
น้องๆเราสัตว์น้อยตัวจิ๋วล้างจมูกกันนะไหน
Wait, you have to clean your
ล้างจมูก
nose?
มีไหม
With a syringe?
ครับ
แต่วันนี้พี่แมลงไปไหนครับ แต่หนูอยากให้พี่แมลงมาสอนแทนนะครับ
Well, he's not here, okay?
ใช่อยากให้พี่แมลงมาสอนแทนพี่แมลงมาแล้ว
พี่แมลงมาแล้วครับน้อง
So Santa's too damn good, because this ain't your community service. You ain't got no reason to be here.
ๆวันนี้นะครับก่อนที่พี่จะสอนน้องเรื่องการล้างจมูกนะครับพี่อยากจะสอนน้องๆเรื่องการขอ
He
โทษ
came
กัน
for
ก่
the
อนครับ
children.
เพราะว่าเวลาที่เราทะเลาะกันเนี่ยมันไม่มีใครมีความสุขเลยจริงไหม
Right. This is a
เพราะฉะนั้น
lesson
นะครับใคร
for
ที่ทะเลาะกันอยู่
right.
ลองขอโทษกันดูดีไหมครับ
uh,
ขอโทษครับเก่งมากครับ ส่วนพี่แมลงนะครับ ก็ต้องขอโทษน้องกระต่ายเหมือนกันนะเพราะพี่แมลง
Wait, you're sorry?
น้องกระต่ายโมโห
What?
ขอโทษนะครับ
Okay, I guess.
I
Sure.
ก็ต้อง
disagree.
ถูกทำโทษใช่ไหมครับอย่างนี้
อ๋อ
ทำโทษใช่ไหมครับเอาเลย
I guess.
เพราะว่ามึงก็ดูเหมาะกับงานรักเด็กแบบนี้ดีนะ ทำต่ออีกสัก100 ชั่วโมงดีปะ
ไม่เอาอ่ะ
What is nasal cleaning? Is that normal? Do people do that all the time?
I mean, not all the time.
I mean, nasal irrigation.
All the kids in Thailand are doing
ยัง
it.
ไม่ฟังเลย
Look up nasal irrigation. Yeah, it especially helps when you're like have cold and gotta.
แต่กูว่าเวลามึงทำอะไรแบบเนี้ยมันก็ดูน่ารักดีนะ
แล้วมึงอ่ะมาที่นี่ทำไมเคลียร์เรื่องโบอิงแล้วเหรอ
มันไม่ง่ายเลยนะเลยโบอิงมันเป็นรักแรกของกูอะ
Right.
คนที่กูเคยแพลนอนาคตไว้ด้วยกันยังไงไม่ก็ต้องเหลือความรู้สึกอยู่บ้างแหละแต่มันจะไม่เกิดอะไรเลยนะถ้าวันนั้นมึงไม่ท้ายกูจูบกันอะ
แล้วมึงคิดว่ามึงสำคัญกับมันขนาดนั้นปะล่ะ
หมายความว่าไงวะ
ก็ถ้ากูจะบอกว่ามันไม่ได้มาหามึงเป็นคนแรกมันไม่ได้คิดถึงมึงแต่ที่มันมาหามึงเพราะว่ามันถูกไอ้ท็อปเทมาอีกทีมึงจะว่าไง
มึงไปรู้อะไรมาเลย
เดี๋ยวกูจัดการเองมึงเป็นแฟนกูอ่ะกูไม่ปล่อยไปหรอกยิ่งไอ้พวกแฟนเก่าที่ชอบมาลื้อฟื้นอีกนะแม่งต้องเจอกูนี่
It's a nice shirt.
มาเดี๋ยวเราช่วย
ยังเหลืออีกหลายกล่องเลยอะเราทิ้งไม่ลงอะ
ไม่เป็นไรหรอกเดี๋ยวเราสั่งเชลฟ์มาให้มิวใหม่ก็ได้นะห้องตรงนั้นมิวทำเป็นห้องสมุดเลยก็ได้
โอ้ยไม่ขนาดนั้นท็อป โอ้นี่เราดีใจจังเลยอ่ะที่มิวย้ายมาอยู่กับเราอ่ะต่อจากนี้เนี่ยเราจะได้ไม่ต้องมีปัญหาเรื่องการนอนไม่หลับอีกอ่ะเพราะว่าการนอนกอดมิวเนี่ยจะเป็นยานอนหลับให้เราเอง
I'm here to be your teddy bear.
ท็อปเรามีเรื่องอยากจะขออยู่เรื่องนึงอ่ะ
มิวอยากขออะไรอ่ะเราทำให้หมดทุกอย่างแหละ
เราอยากให้ท็อปกับมิวเป็นเพื่อนกันได้ไหม
Except that.
เรื่องนี้จำเป็นด้วยเหรอ
จำเป็นดิยังไงมันก็เพื่อนเรานะอย่าให้เราต้องเลือกดิว่าเพื่อนหรือแฟนอ่ะ
แล้วเราจะรู้ได้ยังไงอ่ะ
But I
ว่า
won't
มันจะ
do
ไม่กลับมาชอบ
that.
มิวอีกอ่ะ
มันก็มีแซนอยู่แล้วไง คนที่ท็อปเคยไปแย่งแฟนมันนะ
I mean, his boyfriend came willingly.
การจะเริ่ม
I mean, is your place sold yet? Because you go move back in. You asking too much.
ใครมา
น่าจะเลมั้งเราให้มันมาช่วยยกของอ่ะ
And you didn't ask me. It's still my house.
I didn't even
Thank
agree
you,
to say, oh my gosh.
ว่าไปเก็บ
See,
ได้นะ
this is why I live alone. We not.
You can't just spring a makeup session on me. You got to give me time to mentally prepare for this conversation.
ดี
ดี
Okay, well, this music tells me they're gonna be fine.
ห้องสวยดีนะ แต่งเองหมดเลยเหรอ
กูทำเองทุกอย่างอะออกแบบเองเลือกเฟอร์นิเจอร์เอง
มิวเขาให้โอกาสมึงแล้วอ่ะอย่าทำพังอีกอะ
กูไม่ทำพลาดซ้ำสองหรอก
ไม่พลาดที่มิวจับได้อะเหรอ
นี่มึงหาเรื่องกูมาเนี่ย
กูไม่ได้หาเรื่อง กูแค่จะมาเตือนมึงอะว่าถ้าคราวนี้มึงทำมิวร้องไห้อีก มึงเจอกูแน่
กูอยากบอกมึงเหมือนกันว่าถ้ามึงยังไม่เลิกคิดกับมิวเกินเพื่อนอะมึงก็เจอกูแน่
Battle of the rich boys.
They're just gonna take out money and throw it at each other.
เอาอะไรปะกินเหล้าไหม
ไม่เอามึงกูเลิกแล้ว ขอน้ำเปล่าแล้วกัน
Did you quit?
Right.
That's what?
I still have questions.
That's how they're friends again?
มึงจะมาทำไมอีกวะมาสร้างปัญหาเหรอ
ปัญหาอะไร กูมาดี กูเอาบัตรอาร์ติกมังกี้มาให้มึง บัตรมันโซเอาแล้ว แต่กูก็หามาได้ เพราะกูรู้ว่ามึงอยากดู ถึงกูจะไม่ชอบฟังเพลงล็อกอะแต่กูไปยืนดูกับมึงได้นะ
I work that day.
อาร์ติกมังกี้เหรอวงโปรดมึงนี่ ถ้ามึงอยากไปอ่ะ กูเป็นเพื่อนได้นะ
I wasn't offering
บัตร
up
มัน
the
โซ
other
เอาไป
ticket.
ละ
ซื้อต่อได้ปะเท่าไหร่ว่ามา พอดีกูอยากไปดูคอนเสิร์ตกับแฟนกูอะตั้งแต่กูคบกับมัน กูก็เริ่มฟังเพลงร็อกอังกฤษ กูชอบฟิลกอดคอร้องเพลงกันในคอนเสิร์ตอะ ซื้อต่อได้ปะ
อ้าวสวัสดีมิวรู้จักกับเลด้วยเหรอ
รู้จักดี
It's a party.
นี่เพื่อนสนิทเราอะมีอะไรก็เล่าให้ฟังกันตลอดเนาะ
Is Top gonna pop out too?
Right?
ไงโบอิงอยากกลับมาคบกับแซนเหรอ
Top's gonna be right behind him.
แล้วแต่กูด้วย
จริงๆกูว่ามันก็ไม่ได้อยากกลับไปคบกับแซนหรอกเว้ยแค่ท็อปไม่เอาอะถูกปะไม่ได้คิดถึงแซนหรอกถูกปะ
ถ้ามึงพยายามจะมาลื้อฟื้นอะไรอ่ะมึงกลับไปดีกว่าตอนนี้กูกับแซนกำลังจะเริ่มต้นใหม่กันมึงจะขุดอดีตที่มันตาย
I
ไป
like
แล้ว
this
ทำไมวะ
music.
ถ้าแซนมันว่างกูจะไม่ว่านะแต่แซนเป็นแฟนกู
โอเค กูเข้าใจละมีแฟนออกตัวเป็นเจ้าของแบบนี้มึงเหมือนเป็นหมามันเลยนะ
ดิเวลากูรักใครอ่ะกูก็เป็นหมาแบบนี้แหละแต่อย่างน้อยเจ้าของกูเขาก็รักกูจริงใจกับกูไม่ใช่พอเบื่อแล้วก็ไปหาตัวใหม่มาเลี้ยง
Does this mean we can't have that three-way? No.
Right? No.
Okay.
This is what Boston did right. Like, if you wanted to steal someone's boyfriend, do it behind their backs. Like, bowing.
Sad face.
มึงนี่เวลาถึงก็น่ากลัวเหมือนกันนะเนี่ย
แน่นอนดิก็กูไม่ชอบให้ใครมายุ่งกับคนของกูปะคนใหม่หรือคนเก่ากูไม่ชอบ
เพื่อนเราอะรักใครรักแรงนะฝากด้วยอะ
Girl, I've been doing that this whole damn show.
Right. I'm
You don't gotta tell me.
You and you
Right.
driving drunk and everything else.
Who's the one who made him quit
เราเนี่ย
drinking?
เบอร์นี่จะขอเราแต่งงานแล้วเหรอเนี่ย
ไม่ใช่ คือเราย้ายมาอยู่ด้วยกันแล้วใช่ไหม เราก็อยากให้มีอะไรแทนใจเราสองคนหน่อยอะ
บอกเลยนะว่าอยู่กับเราไม่ง่าย
เหมือนกัน
I want this
เราก็เป็นคน
bathtub.
ค่อนข้างเนียบคนหนึ่งนั่นแหละ
Oh, I don't
No,
want to
let's
You
drink.
gotta take my jewelry off
เรา
when I
อะ
go.
เป็นคนอาบน้ำนาน ไม่ชอบให้ใครมาเร่ง
เราเป็นคนไม่ชอบให้ใครเอาอะไรมากินบนเตียง เราชอบกินผ้าปูที่นอนที่สุด
โอเค เราเป็นคนไม่ชอบคนวางของไม่เป็นที่ ถ้าหยิบมาจากไหนก็ต้องวางตรงนั้น ไม่งั้นเราจะหงุดหงิด
เราเป็นคนไม่ชอบโกรธและไม่พูดทำอะไรไม่บอก เราไม่ชอบเดา
บอกเป็นอย่างนั้นก็ดีแล้วเราจะปรับปรุงตัวกันไหม
That's nice. Maybe we should have had this conversation before we agreed to move in, though.
Right. This is
เพราะเราเป็นคนหลับ
Just in case there are things we
ถ้า
can't.
จะคุยกันเรื่องอะไรอะเราอยากให้เราถึงเช้า
เฮ้ยท็อป เวลาโกรธกันก็ต้องคุยกันเลยป่ะ มันจะรอกันได้ไงอะ
ถ้างั้นก็ดูก่อนว่ามันเป็นเรื่องอะไร แล้วค่อยมาว่ากันอีกทีหนึ่ง
เดี๋ยว เราอะยังต้องปรับตัวกันอีกเยอะเลยนะค่อยๆเป็นค่อยๆไปนะท็อป
เหมือนกัน เพราะเราก็เป็นคนที่ยากคนหนึ่งนั่นแหละ แต่เรามั่นใจนะว่าถ้าเราผ่านไปด้วยกันได้ เราจะคบกันยาวเลยแหละ
At least 3 months.
yeah.
แล้วแบบเนี้ยชอบไหม
ไม่ค่อยชอบอะ
งั้นไม่ท
ล้อเล่น
Ugh, this is not cute. This is terrifying. I don't want all these conversations. I just want
There's too many
someone
rules.
to talk to me.
Yeah.
Just like, why can't they come to me? Why do I have to meet them halfway? Oh my god. Pop is the
They-
sugar daddy. Like he's meant to provide everything. Ugh.
Okay, so in real life, it's important to have these conversations
Mhm, yes.
because these little things, and especially one of the conversations with they're having, it's like, okay, how do we deal with problems when they come up? One person wants to stay up and deal with it. Another one person wants to sleep on it. And it's very important. You have, like I said a couple of episodes ago, you have to learn how to fight and you have to learn how to deal with issues as they come up. So far, it's a healthy thing to say, okay, you know what? We're not going to purposely get on each other's issues. But just because we're people, just because we have different things, these problems are going to come arise and they're going to happen. How are we going to deal with it? And even with that, they said, okay, you know what? Let's talk about it and we'll deal with it and meet halfway, you know? And that is one of the healthiest things I've seen in the relationship so far. But like Topher said, y'all should have had some of these conversations before you moved in, because you can't just be like all of a sudden get up and one person's the morning person, the other person's the afternoon person, or, you know, all this other kind of stuff, because that two developed adults are now going to cohabitate who have lived by themselves, and you get to like stuff the way you want it. And in your house, in your living space, all that crazy shit to go on in the world. This is the only place that you can control. Especially if you pay rent, that's the only place you can control for the next 30 days. And so you want your shit the way you want it. So, and then having to compromise and find that compromise with when you cohabitate with someone, that is it. Because if one person is only doing the compromise and the other person has been in, eventually you get tired of that shit. You get tired of it real quick, and then starts bubbling up and other stuff that you do. You know, it's like all of a sudden, why the fuck you mad because I had a serving strawberries before breakfast? No, it's about that other shit that they've been doing. So this is good.
No, I think that it's a very, very important conversation. I feel like Mew and Top, the last 2 episodes, have been having very important conversations, which is why I'm at the point as a viewer where I'm like, you know what? I'm okay if they end up together. It's not necessarily what I needed 4 or 5 episodes ago. I'm like, okay, I don't need any of these people to be together. I still don't need any people to be together. But because of the kinds of conversations they are having and the way that they are finally having these mature conversations to effectively communicate and resolve their issues and set these sort of expectations in the relationship, I'm like, okay, I'm fine with you guys now. You guys can go on whatever romantic journey you need to go on, and I'm fine with it. I won't fight it anymore, because like you said, it's probably the healthiest relationship thing we've seen in this entire series. Which it's great. It's great to see some sort of healthy habits come out of all of this shitstorm of stuff that we've seen throughout the series. If they can do it, anybody can do it. So yeah, I like the conversation. It does feel like a lot to take in all at once. Like, okay, you're this person, you're that person, blah, 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 blah. Again, we should probably have this conversation before we agree to move in. Because I know, just speaking from my own personal experience, I've lived alone for a very long time. And sometimes I have these thoughts like, you know what, maybe I should get a roommate, not because I need one, but, you know, it'd be nice to have a second income in the household. It'd be nice to take some of that financial burden off of me, maybe start throwing some stuff in a savings account, blah, 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 blah. But then I'll go on tour and I'll share a room with one of my castmates for a week or so. And I'm like, there's a reason I live alone. There's a reason I live alone, because me and this person are not compatible as roommates. I can only live with very few people. So I'm like, conversation probably should be had before we agree to dive into the holy matrimony of cohabitating. But you know, it's fine. It's cute, I guess. I want that fucking bathtub. That is one of my life goals, to have a bathtub that fits an adult-sized me.
Right?
ที่มึงจูบกูกลางสาธารณะแบบเนี้ยกูรู้มึงชอบอะไรแบบนี้มึงชอบ
You reckon Papa Dan is gonna show up?
I hope so.
แบบเนี้ยมึงคิดว่ากูไม่เคยคิดไว้หรอไหนมึงคิดอยากจูบกูที่ไหนอีกปะหรือมึงอยากทำอะไรโรแมนติกอ่ะไหนบอกมาดิกูอยากให้มึงจูบกูข้ามถนนอ่ะโอ้โห
Take me to Paris.
ข้ามเองก็ได้มั้งกูรู้แต่ถ้าแฟนจูงให้อ่ะมันอบอุ่นกว่าอ่ะก็ได้ไหนมึงมีอะไรอีกแล้วก็อยากให้มึงแนะนำเพื่อนมึงว่ากูเป็นแฟนมึงอันนี้ยากละเพราะกูไม่
I'd also like to have a 3 with you and my boss.
ขอโทษเฮ้ยอีกอย่างหนึ่งใกล้ปีใหม่แล้วว่ะกูอยากให้ตอนที่เราไปเขาดาวด้วยกันน่ะมึงหันมาจูบกูแบบ5 4 3 2แล้วก็หันมาจูบกูได้แล้วก็พอแล้วเยอะแล้วพอไม่ได้แล้วเอ้าก็มึงบอกจะหวานจะเน่ากับกูอ่ะมึ มึงพูดแล้วก็ทำไม่ได้ดิกูจะพยายามแล้วกันแต่อย่าคาดหวังนะแล้วแต่โอกาสกูจะมาแบบเซอร์ไพรส์ดิ้งหมดแล้วอ่ะเดี๋ยวกูไปเอาเพิ่มแบบนี้มึงชอบปะชอบมึงดูแลกูอ่ะกูชอบหมดโอเคจ้างั้นเดี๋ยวกูมา
เอาเนโกนี่
Okay, it's Boeing again.
ขอบคุณครับ
So you wanna fuck?
On New Year's?
ชอบเนโกนี่เหมือนกันนะครับ
ครับ
บางคนก็ไม่ชอบบอกมันแรงเกินผมด้วย
You don't have to start off a conversation.
พอดีว่าคืนนี้ผมอยากได้อะไรแรงๆนะครับ
Bad Day แหละครับ
Bad Life ชีวิตมันเหี้ยมากกว่าครับ
Girl, I know
งั้นเน
that.
โกนี่คงไม่พอแล้วมั้งครับช็อตไหมเดี๋ยวผมเลี้ยงเอง
But why?
อยากเลี้ยงเหล้าผมหนูอยากได้อะไรครับคืนนี้ผมไม่อยากพูดเยอะ
ดีเหมือนกันครับ ผมก็ชอบอะไรไวๆเหมือนกัน
I'm sorry, sir.
What?
นั่นแหละครับ
Sir? This does not go along with the relationship that
Boston.
I don't know why I keep reaching for my glass of tea. Ain't nothing in it anymore. Boston!
What?
God
I
damn it.
expected better from you.
Actually, I expected this from Boston, but
I did not expect
Leaving your
Boston
boyfriend on the
2.0.
dance floor.
Right,
This is not the
like-
romantic spirit. Wait.
เดียวเหรอครับ
Maybe.
อ๋อ
Are they in an open relationship?
มากับแฟน
Or they're
ขอโทษด้วยครับ
Maybe Nick. This was just like a fantasy Nick wanted.
oh god,
Maybe it's a role play thing.
why they gotta?
ถ้าขนาดนี้เนี่ยไปที่ห้องผมดีกว่าไหมครับ
ตรงนี้ดีกว่าครับ แฟนรออยู่
แล้วแฟนไม่ว่าล่ะครับ
แฟนโอเคครับ คุยกันแล้ว
Did you?
Did we
ผมว่า
though?
ใช้เวลาตรงนี้เนี่ย
Did we?
สนุกกันต่อดีกว่าครับ
Is that a lie? Is that a lie?
I don't
Is that-
know. I'm hoping it's not a lie.
I mean, he said he'd be okay with what?
But that face tells me otherwise.
Well, Boston was Boston.
Oh wow, Nick took up smoking in that short amount of time.
อ้าวอยู่ที่เองมึงดูดบุหรี่ด้วยเหรอเนี่ย
I've had a hard
ขอดูหน่อย
day.
ดิ
Well, I guess one of the couples won't be together.
Nick, if you take him back. Oh,
เป็นไรเนี่ย งอนเหรอ กูไปเข้าห้องน้ำด้วยไงมันเลยนานอ่ะ
Don't lie to me. Well, I
Oh
might have been in
god,
the
damn
bathroom.
it!
กูว่ามึงเลิกพ
this
ยายาม
is
เป็น
why you
แฟน
don't
สิ่ง
give
ที่
your
มึงไม่ได้เป็น
opinion out.
อะไรของมึงเนี่ย
Well, he was in the bathroom doing stuff.
ก็ที่มึงพยายามทำตัวเป็นแฟนกูแบบเนี้ยมันดูไม่ใช่มึงเลยอะเมื่อไหร่เราคุยกันแล้วไงว่าจะลองเป็นแฟนกันก่อนที่กูบินไปนิวยอร์กไง
Does that include kissing
แล้ว
other
การที่มึงมา
boys?
เที่ยวกับกูอะแล้วไปจูบกับคนอื่นในผับแบบเนี้ย
What do you think a boyfriend
เมื่อคนเป็น
does?
แฟนเขาทำกันปะวะ
Some boyfriends. Again, we have to have conversations to establish these boundaries. I don't think they did.
Boston thought he had that conversation, but he
Yeah,
never
but
did.
also some people are not. Yes, true.
กูคิดว่ากูทำใจกับความเป็นมึงได้แล้วนะ แต่พอกูมาเห็นจ่าๆแบบเมื่อกี้ว่ากูไม่ไหววะ
God, you saw it, you heard it, you recorded it. Ugh.
But that was
แค่
back
จูบเดียว
then.
วะก็ไม่ใช่เรื่องใหญ่ป่ะ
Girl, it looked like more than a kiss.
สุดท้ายกูก็กลับบ้านแค่กับมึงนะเว้ย เห็นปะสำหรับมึงแม่งไม่ใช่เรื่องใหญ่เลยอะแต่สำหรับกูอะโคตรยากเลยอะคำว่าแฟนสำหรับกูอะนะมึงก็ต้องมีกูคนเดียวปะวะมึงแต่คำว่าแฟนสำหรับกูอะมันเป็นเรื่องของหัวใจไม่ใช่ตัวไง ถึงกูจะไปจูบกับใครอะมึงก็เห็นอยู่ว่ากูหวานแค่กับมึงปะวะ
But I'm on it all.
This is a okay. So
ตอนเนี้ย
Oh, okay, we'll get to the end.
มึงกับกูก็
Where
เหลื
we
อกัน
going?
ไม่มากแล้ว ถ้ามึงรักกูจริงๆอ่ะมึงต้องรับสิ่งที่กูเป็นให้ได้เว้ย
Truth, but you also got to accept me, and this is how I am.
แล้วจากนี้มึงจะเอาไงต่อก็มึงไปคิดดูแล้วกัน
Gonna set your car on fire. No, that's not what Nick would do.
ฮะ
ขอบใจนะมึง
Yay! The friends are together.
มึงคิดว่ามึงจะยอมคบกับไอ้บอสตั้งจริงๆเหรอวะทางที่มันไปเอาคนอื่นนะ
No.
กูยังไม่แน่ใจอ่ะ
Okay.
กูไม่รู้กูจะยอมเปล่า
กูตอบให้เลยนะว่ามึงยอม
ให้มึงคิดกันวะ
Call me
มึ
out.
งไม่รักตัวเองแล้วไง มึงคิดว่าทุกอย่างคือสิ่งที่ดีที่สุดแล้ว
แต่กูว่ามันก็แฟร์นะ อย่างน้อยมันก็บอกกูตรงๆอ่ะว่าให้กูได้มากแค่ไหน
He
กูยังไม่
did.
ต้องคาดหวังก็
He
จริงเรื่องนี้
did.
กูว่ามันแล้วแต่คน
That was when he got caught.
แต่มึงลองถามตัวเองดูแล้วกัน ว่ามันใช่แฟนแบบที่มึงอยากได้หรือเปล่า
He's not.
มึงมีดีกว่านั้นเว้ยนิกอย่าลดความคาดหวังของตัวเองดีวะ
Dan's still
Hey.
here.
It's not limbo.
Halfway point. We gotta get thoughts.
I suppose this is just Boston, you know? I guess. I suppose.
It is. It is Boston. Boston is Boston. I appreciate, at least in that moment there, that Nick, he didn't seem to try to want to, well, obviously he would love Boston to change. But I feel like if this had been Nick beginning of the series and we were having this conversation, it would very much be, okay, Nick, I want you to be committed to me and only me, blah, 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 which is obviously what Nick wants. But it felt like in the conversation he was having, it was more along the lines of, this is who you are. And yeah, I thought I could handle it, but then I saw it with my eyes and I don't know if I can handle it. I'm not trying to change you because this is who you are, but I don't know that this is going to work for me. And I appreciate that at least he's in a mental space where he's not trying to, I can change him. My love can change him. He's like, this is him. I know this is him. I thought I could handle him at this level, but I don't know that I can handle him. And now it's just a matter of, am I going to stay and continue to subject myself to this, or am I going to move on like I was doing 2 episodes ago? I just appreciate that little bit of realism where he's like, you know what? I can't change him. This is who he is. Can I put up with who he is for the next couple months or not? I wish Boston. I know he told Boeing that he talked about it with his boyfriend. And to a certain level, I think they did. Because again, Nick seemed very...
Did they? They did not.
To a certain degree, because Nick, again, he's like, I thought I could deal with you. This is who you are, and I thought I could deal with you. So I feel like they've had conversations, and Boston has expressed, this is who I am. And Nick has still been trying to, okay, well, my love can make him be committed to me and only me. So in Boston's head, I feel like he had enough of a conversation that Nick would be okay with it. And Nick said he would be okay with it until he actually saw it with his eyes. And he's like, I'm not quite as okay with this as I thought I am. At least that's the narrative I'm spinning in my head. Because if not, then that would make Boston a liar. And that would just totally counteract everything I've been saying for the last 11 episodes. We can't have that happen.
Right.
Boston totally lied just then.
No, but Nick said, but what do you think?
I mean, I feel like Boston lied because he wouldn't have to have explained himself in that moment afterwards. I think his assumption of boyfriend is baffling to me because, like, Nick is obviously the type of person who is romantic and sweet. And I feel like Boston should have known that that's what Nick expected. A bit of monogamy or a bit of a closed relationship until you went to New York. And if you didn't want that, you would have had that discussion. And if you had that discussion, I feel like Nick wouldn't be that upset. Like, I just feel like Nick would understand. I don't know. Like, I feel like Boston was lying about being away for so long. Like, he would have just said, I was making out with someone. Sorry, it took so long, or blah, blah, blah. He just said, I was in the bathroom. Like, all of it seemed coercive. All of it seemed like he was trying to smooch quickly behind Nick's back. And Boston is so deluded that he thought Nick would accept him as he was unconditionally. Like, you know, I like to sleep around, you know, like to make out with other people. To me, it feels like Boston has Nick to accompany him, to make him feel less lonely, to hang out with. But romantically, I don't see that consideration for Nick. I don't see that mindfulness for the other person. It all still felt very deceptive. If he did have that conversation, they would have shown it to us before, instead of making us believe that Boston is regressing.
It's very important, and this is why I'm saying, and this is why I'm like applauding Mew and Top's discussion. At least they had a discussion. And the thing about Boston and Nick is, while they said, okay, we're going to be boyfriends, they did not draw out the lines of what does a boyfriend mean. And then they were finally doing that after Boston. He saw Boston with someone else. Now, you could say, oh, we're going to be boyfriends, but they're two totally different ideas about what a boyfriend is. And then even when you get down to the minutia of it, especially with people in relationships, oh, you cheated on me. I didn't cheat. Some people think that physically fucking people is cheating. Mm-hmm. Other people, oh, you just held hands with somebody. Oh, there's emotional cheating. And they don't bring out these lines of what cheating is, what it doesn't do. But people just say this idea and they think they have a common definition. I don't think Boston lied at all, because Nick was just like, I thought I could handle it, but, you know, I can't, you know. And Nick hasn't been the best throughout. He's getting better at saying, okay, I don't want to do this and leave, but he's not been the best of, this is what I want. This is exactly what I want. This is my boundaries and all this other kind of stuff. He just kind of like, all right, you know, I'm just like you, Boston, and all this other kind of stuff. So I don't take Boston as lying. He was like, I'm in the bathroom, but everybody knows what happens in the gay bathroom. So, you know, but I've
never been to that bathroom.
Right. It's all the downlighting that it just causes people. All the downlight. But no, Boston, I don't take him as him regressing. I just don't take him as progressing that much. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to be sweet to you. I can be sweet to you. I'm showing you this other side of me. But for everything, and that's also why I also see it as Boston earlier in this episode. He was like, yeah, don't come to New York for me. Don't do it for me. Right. And he was just all about, he's like, I'm not because all of that extra stuff, he was like, I don't really think about tomorrow. It's just today. Let's just do it today. We're not. And it was just him pushing away from a monogamous, committed type thing. It's like, okay, we can cosplay this like boyfriend thing, but I'm not like what the people were talking about. It also is like Nick and Sand are my favorite relationship, because Sand gave it to Nick straight. It's not that it's like, no, you're going to get back with him. And I've told this to people before. It was like, because you love him, and you love him so much that you're kind to other people to the point where you're unkind to yourself. And you love him so much that you don't love yourself to leave. Like this is where you're at. And I enjoy that frankness and truth between these two friends. You don't get it from the other friend groups. Everybody else is just. But yeah, no, I enjoyed that moment. I enjoyed them. I don't think Nick and Boston are going to be together at the end of this. So it is what it is.
Like, I know we're progressive, but like, I feel like when Nick was like to Boston and they was like, we're going to be boyfriends, like that's an upgrade from friends with benefits. Is it too much to expect that it meant monogamy, or it meant like a close relationship?
Yes. You're expecting something unless you say what it is. Expectations are resentments waiting to happen. Like, unless you say, hey, this is what it is about, and you're like, oh, okay, and then somebody steps on your toes when you haven't told them where your fucking toes are. So yes, what's the
difference between them going from friends with benefits to boyfriends then? Like, I just don't see the difference. Like,
for me, because like I understand what Edison's saying, because like, again, I feel like we are very monogamous minded kind of individuals, and if I were to enter or embark upon a relationship with somebody, I would like it to be understood that, hey, I'm monogamous minded and I would like you to also be monogamous in this relationship with me. And I get that, but I feel like with everything we have seen from Boston throughout this, it just screams to me that he is not a monogamous minded person. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a non-monogamous kind of relationship as long as everybody involved is on the same page. So Nick was coming into this expecting, okay, he said boyfriends, so clearly he knows what I want, so he is going to be monogamous for me. Boston's coming in here saying, okay, we're boyfriends. Nick knows what I want. He knows who I am, so he's going to let me fly free whenever They did not clearly define what each other's boyfriends were. And I'm not going to say that one of them is wrong, one of them is right. It's just an unfortunate series of events of miscommunication. They both thought they had their definition of boyfriends, which are perfectly valid. Not saying either person's definition of a boyfriend is invalid in any way, shape, or form, but they did not communicate. They didn't compare notes. They didn't show each other their notebooks and say, hey, these are the qualities my boyfriend has. These are the qualities my boyfriend has. They just said, hey, let's throw a title on this. Let's slap a ring on it, call it a day. I'll change my relationship status in Facebook to boyfriends when it really should be as complicated. Like, it was just not effective communication. So I don't necessarily think it's fair for Nick to expect Boston to be monogamous without having a conversation. I don't think it's fair for Boston to expect Nick to be okay with an open relationship or whatever it is without having those lines defined. It just feels like a great example of what ineffective communication can cause.
Even if they did have that conversation, though, like, it just seems like inconsiderate timing. Like, Boston was getting a drink for Nick, and Nick was waiting for him, right? At least tell him that you're going to be a while and not have him wait for you. At least. Because he's expecting you to come back with drinks and to kiss.
Also, Boston just said it. Like, I'm the type of person who just sneaks up in the moment, and he just doesn't. I think Boston just gets distracted by shiny things.
Yes. Then be like, here's my shiny thing. I'm going to go play with my shiny thing. Here's your drink. Be right back. Don't walk in on me kissing, because that's not what you want to see anyways.
How do we feel about that shiny thing being Boeing versus anybody else in the universe? Because I don't know that it's really serving any narrative purpose. I feel like Boeing is done for the episode. I feel like he's done for the series at this point. He's caused this last little rift. He's gone through all the ships in the series. Now he's gonna quietly excuse himself. He may come back. I don't know, but I don't know that it had to be Boeing unless it comes back later in the episode and there's this big revelation or this big explosion. I don't necessarily think it had to be Boeing. It could have been just about it being Boeing. Didn't seem like an important detail in Boston sleeping with this man or doing whatever with this man in the bathroom. It could have just been some random person sitting there drinking. So how do we feel that Boeing was the catalyst for this?
I think that he got paid for the whole episode, and they're
we gonna use you.
we gonna use you. Bowen, for some reason, is going to be in the third part, the fourth part. We getting all that. You on the contract, and we need
no extras. We ain't got time for extras.
Like no, like for me, it was just like again him. Like for what? Why are you? Why Boeing? Like why did it have to be Boeing? And not that there was anything wrong with Boeing, but I just at this point, are you really trying to paint him as a bad guy? Or are you really setting him up for the second season? Or I just don't know why. I just think he was paid for the whole episode, and they just he got. I don't know. I just don't know why.
What do you mean? Because Bowen's hot, and then it's just two hot guys kissing. So why not? But also,
there are a lot of hot guys.
Yeah, but like this is good for Mon's career. You know, go let 1,000 blossoms bloom. Go kiss all the guys in your BL career. You know, it's just starting. You know, this is a preview of Mon's trajectory. He's gonna kiss more boys in the future. Like.
Man, what I wouldn't
it's great.
Thai boy.
It's great. I mean, it got Topher's juices going. I mean, like, I guess. I suppose.
It's not a very difficult task these days.
Juices were already going at the beginning of the first section.
They never stop. They've been going since last week. It's been a very slippery week. Okay.
Oh, it's Christmas, New Year's. Wait,
the name of it is Only Friends Stay. I didn't know
ข
that.
อบใจมากนะเว้ยที่พวกมึงไม่ออกต่างจังหวัดแล้วก็มาปาร์ตี้กับกูเนี่ย
ก็มึงย้ำนักย้ำหนาเนี่ยว่าห้ามไปไหนอ่ะ จะทำอะไรของมึงไว้เชื่อม
ไม่มีอะไรเลยก็เทศกาลปีใหม่ปะวันแห่งความสุขเนี่ยก็ทิ้งสิ่งแย่ๆไว้จากปีที่แล้วแล้วก็เริ่มต้นใหม่เนี่ยกูก็อยากจะอยู่กับคนที่กูรักกูแคร์ไง
โอเค
แซนขอบใจมากนะเว้ยที่อุปถัมภ์ไอเลมันอะมันต้องการคนดูแลมันนะแล้วเว้ย
ไอ้กูไม่ใช่หมาจรเว้ย
โอเค
ก็พูดถูกแล้วไม่ใช่เหรอวะ มึงชอบมาหากูเวลาที่มึงต้องการอ่ะ มึงก็เหมือนกับหมาจรจัดมาหากูเวลาอยากได้ข้าว
อ้าวไอ้แซน
เย้
อ้าวไอ้ตั้นกูนึกว่ามึงจะไม่มาซะอีก
กูไปคิดธุระกลับไปนิวยอร์กมาเลยมาสาย
เฮ้ยเนี่ยไอ้ตั้นมันจะไปอยู่แล้วให้โอกาสมันได้ทำได้ลาได้ขอโทษความเหี้ยความหาอะไรของมันเนาะใช่ป่ะ
I gotta say sorry. I feel like there are other people who need to say sorry too. Hold on.
We can all apologize together.
กูเอาดิ้งเพิ่มนะ เดี๋ยวมา
Like y'all keep bringing up how Top need to apologize to Sand. I don't think that conversation's happened yet, but here we are. So.
กูรอคำขอโทษจากมึงอยู่นะ ขอโทษเรื่องอะไร ขอโทษใคร ขอโทษแม่ขอโทษหมาเหรอ
Okay, what you're not gonna do is villainize me at this damn party, okay?
แล้วกูขอโทษที่วันนั้นกูเมาแล้วก็บอกไอ้แซนว่ามึงชอบมิวแต่เรื่องที่กูต่อยมึงอ่ะกูไม่ขอโทษนะเพราะมึงต่อยกูก่อน
That's true.
ควรโดนแล้วมึงอ่ะแต่จริงๆนะตั้นคนที่จะให้โอกาสมันกลับเข้ากลุ่มได้อ่ะคงมีแค่มิวไปขอโทษมันด้วยอ่ะ
That's right, he left.
เชื่อแต่ทำไมไอ้มิวมันให้โอกาสท็อปแต่ทำไมมันยังโกรธกูอยู่วะ
มึงอย่าเปรียบเทียบกูกับมึงดิ
Right?
กูผ่านโปรเซสของกูหมดแล้วอะกูมีมันจะยอมยกโทษให้
He did go through a process, y'all.
Yeah.
แล้วกูบอกให้มึงชวนไอ้นิกมาเนี่ยทำไมนิกมันไม่มาวะ
He did apologize instead of deflect.
ดูทำหน้าดิมึงทำเหี้ยใส่มันมาอีกดิ
Yes, kind of.
กูขอตัวก่อนนะ ขอดิ้งเลยดิ
ชงเอาเองดิ
กูขอโทษ
Are you?
กูรู้กูมันเฮี้ย
Would you forgive Boston? Because I don't know if I could.
I don't know.
It depends on what he says.
กูแค่อยากให้มึงรู้ว่าที่กูทำอ่ะไม่ใช่เพราะกูเกลียดมึงแต่เป็นเพราะความไม่คิดที่เลยของกูขอโทษนะที่ปล่อยให้ความอยากมันทำลายความเป็นเพื่อนอ่ะ
กูจะบอกมึงเหมือนที่กูบอกท็อปนะ กูให้อภัย แต่กูไม่ลืม ส่วนความเป็นเพื่อนของกูกับมึงอ่ะ มันจบลงไปแล้ว มันไม่ได้มาง่ายๆแต่มึงก็ไม่สนอะไรอยู่แล้วปะเดี๋ยวมึงก็หนีปัญหาทุกอย่างมาอยู่นิวยอร์กอยู่แล้วนี่
กูแค่อยากไปที่ใหม่ๆอ่ะเผื่อกูจะได้เป็นคนใหม่
มึงอย่าหวังเลยตั้นถ้ามึงจะเปลี่ยนจากข้างนอกอ่ะแต่ข้างในมันยังเหมือนเดิมอ่ะมันก็ไม่ช่วยมึงอย่าทำร้ายคนที่เขารักมึงอีกล่ะ
ตั้นมิวไปเล่นเกมกันปะไปเถอะ
Oh, that's been the bottle.
เชื่ออะไรคะ
เอาไงดีวะอ่ะทุกก็ได้
งั้นเราขอถามว่า
อะไรพิวแกล้งเราปะเนี่ย
ถ้าคะแนนเต็ม 10 มิวให้ท็อปเท่าไหร่
I mean, I got back together with him, didn't I?
Doesn't mean anything.
เราพร้อมรับคำวิจารณ์อยู่แล้ว
I moved in, didn't I?
7.
ก็ต้อง10 ปะวะ
Actually,
เกินไป
weren't you a virgin before you met? Is that the only person you had sex with?
I don't really have anything to compare it with, so
Right.
ต้องอยู่ที่บนเตียงดีวะ
it's the best I've ever had.
ให้มึงจูบ
Chum.
ท็อป
เฮ้ย
Oh.
มิว
เฮ้ย
เอาดิ
Ooh.
แซน
I mean, I'm here for it, but like, why?
กูไม่ได้กลัวอยู่แล้ว
This is exactly what I was wondering at the beginning of this episode.
Is this how we're gonna make them make? Oh, yes, daddy, please do.
กูขอโทษที่เคยแย่งแฟนมึง
This is not the time for this conversation. Yeah, shut your mouth.
I'm sorry I stole your boyfriend. Oh my God, I should have stole you.
โอ้โหกูรู้แล้วว่ามึงไม่กลัวมันอะ
Miu, you asked
มันไม่
for
ได้
this.
ใช่ไหมเนี่ย
กูว่านะไอ้มิว มึงให้10กับไอ้ท็อปอะเกินไปว่ะไม่กระจอก
โห
Oh!
มาที่จังหวะเลย
กูก็ไม่ได้อยากมีจังหวะกับมึงอยู่แล้วเปล่าวะ
เฮ้ยพวกมึง กูกับท็อปจะไปดูพลุกันอ่ะสนเปล่า
ให้ไปอ่ะ กูดูจนเบื่อแล้ว กูจะอยู่ที่นี่เล่นน้ำกับพิวเนาะ
มึงไงตั้นไปเปล่า
มึงชวนกูมารยาทหรือมึงอยากให้กูไปจริงๆเนี่ย
อย่าเรื่องมากดิ ไปให้ไปแค่นั้นแหละ
This girl don't ask questions. You want to come
Right.
It was like I was hoping you'd say no.
ทำไมเพิ่งมาวะ
I like that shirt. I like your
โทษ
shirt.
ทีมึงกูตัดสินใจนานน่ะเลยมาช้า พวกกูกำลังจะไปดูพลุกันน่ะ ไปด้วยไหม
Actually, I want to hang out with April and
กู
Chum.
ไม่อยากเขาดาวคนเดียวอยู่แล้วอะ
ไปดิ ไปมึง
บายมึง
ไปยังไงเชื่อ
Bye, lesbians. Thank you for your contributions to series.
Right?
Yes, right?
I like it song.
How many people are in this car? Just 4 of them?
Just more. It gives Boston and what do we call it, a chance to talk.
Can we keep our
Or
eyes
just
on the
stare at each
road?
other.
Please. Oh my god.
It's okay. It's
Don't die.
understandable.
อ๋อหนักปะไม่หนักหรอกไหลลงเพลงกันนะเร็วๆคนขับ
จริงแล้วค่ะผู้โดยสาร
ขอบคุณครับ
Aw.
It's cute.
มาคิดดูแล้ว ปีนี้แม่งโคตรหนักกับกูเลยว่ะ ไห แต่ก็ดีนะ กูก็ได้รู้จักตัวเองดีอะปีหน้าไม่ต้องดีกว่านี้เว้ย พวกมึงอะแทนอะไรกันไปปะ
Next season
กูมีนะ
yeah.
กูจะเลิกเหล้าอ่ะ
เฮ้ย
แบบบายบายร้านเหล้า no more ร้านเหล้า
ดีแล้ว
แต่กูจะมีสังคมเหรอวะ
มึงก็อยู่กับกูนี่ไง กูว่าจะเลิกเป็นนักดนตรีร้านเหล้าแล้วอะ
ทำไมอะ
ก็ถ้ากูยังทำงานที่ร้านเหล้าอะเวลามึงมาหากูมึงก็ต้องเจอคนกินเหล้าแล้วเดี๋ยวมึงอาจจะอดใจไม่ไหวเอง
Baby, where you
ต้องข
gonna
นาดนั้น
sing?
ก็ได้ปะวะ
กูไหว
โอ้โห เรายังไงดีวะเนี่ย ไอแซนแม่งเล่นใหญ่ขนาดนี้อะนี่มิว เราซื้อตึกให้เอาปะผมอยากทำธุรกิจอะไรหรือเปล่าอะเราอยากทำอะไรร่วมกับมิวอะ
ไม่ต้องหานั้นก็ได้ แค่ไม่ทำตัวเร็วเหมือนปีเนี้ยแล้วก็โอเคแล้ว
สมน้ำหน้าไอ้ท็อปอวดรวยดีนักมึงอะไอ้มิวด่าไอ้ท็อปอีกเยอะๆเลย
And then Boeing
กู
shows
ก็จะ
up.
ตั้งใจถ่ายรูป แล้วก็มีนิทรรศการเป็นของตัวเองให้ได้ In the bedroom by Boston
ไม่ต้องไปเรียนหรอกมึงอ่ะ มีเยอะแยะแล้ว
นิกาว่าไง
ก็ไม่ได้วางแผนอะไรที่ใหญ่ๆไว้หรอกแค่อยากโฟกัสตัวเองให้มากขึ้นอะรู้สึกว่าปีนี้เสียเวลาไปกับอะไรก็ไม่รู้อะ
Yes.
เดี๋ยวแหละ คนอย่างนี้ควรเจอความรักดีๆนะ
เฮ้ย ทุกคนอีก10 วิมาแล้ว 10 9 8 7 6 5 4 3 2 1 Happy New Year
It's fair.
Yeah. Don't kiss me if you don't mean it.
นี่เป็นเพราะแผนของเชื่อมเลยนะเนี่ยที่ทำให้เพื่อนกลับมาดีกันได้ขนาดเนี้ย
ก็ไม่อยากจบปีไปด้วยความเกลียดนะพิว
เดี๋ยวล่ะอยู่กับเชื่อมอะ energy โคตรดี
มันก็อยู่กับเราไปนานๆนะ
Aww.
We're missing one more relationship.
They broke up again. It's fine.
ง่วงแล้วอ่ะ ไปท็อป
ขอบใจมากๆนะไอ้มิวที่ชวนกูมาวันเนี้ยไว้ปีหน้าถ้าพวกมึงว่างอะไปเข้าดาวน์ที่นิวยอร์กดิ เดี๋ยวกูรอ
ไม่ดีกว่ามึง กูกับมึงไม่จำเป็นต้องเป็นเพื่อนกันแล้วก็ได้นะ เอาจริงๆที่วันเนี้ยกูทำดีกับมึงอ่ะพอไอ้เชื่อมันขอ กูก็แค่ไม่อยากให้งานมันก่อยอ่ะ
Oh, okay.
แต่กูขอให้มึงโชคดีนะ กับการเปลี่ยนแปลงตัวเองอ่ะ
Oh yes, I like this meal.
Okay. I mean, you could have just told me in the kitchen, so I didn't waste the rest of my evening. But okay. It's fair.
แล้วนี่นิกไปไหนเนี่ยไอ้ตัน
Right. I was about to say, where's Nick?
He was just here.
กูไปหามันก่อนแล้วกัน
มิวแม่งโหดว่ะ
No, he's not. What? That was perfectly fine.
มึงเคยดูหนังเรื่องบิกินเกนปะ
ไม่เคยอ่ะ แต่กูเคยฟังเพลงประกอบนะ Lost Star กูชอบมากเลย คีร่าไนลี่อ่ะ กูว่าเขาสวยน่ารักด้วย
กูก็ชอบเหมือนกัน
Yeah.
แล้วมึงรู้ปะชีวิตกูแม่งโคตรเหมือนเรื่องของเขาในหนังเลยเว้ยแม่งมีซีนหนึ่งในหนังเว้ยที่กูอยากทำกับคนที่กูชอบ
ซีนจูบอ่ะ
สัตว์ไม่ใช่ มันคือซีนที่เขาไปเดินรอบเมืองแล้วก็ฟังเพลงด้วยกัน
That's always cute, though.
มึงอยากไปเดินเล่นแล้วก็ฟังเพลงกับกูปะ
I mean, if you
Howdy.
insist.
กูเป็นคีร่าไนลี่ให้มึงเอง
โอ้โห มึงมันสวยมาจากไหนวะฮะ ต่อไปนี้กูต้องเรียกมึงว่าแบบไฮโซคนหนุ่มเล่คนสวยปะ
แน่นอน
First, I can be cared nicely.
It is kind of. It is like when you're like
Cute.
walking around with your crush or whatever. You have one ear and they have the other ear, and y'all listen to the same music.
It's cute, I guess.
I'm talking about in real life. I'm not talking about. No, I'm just kidding. This is cute.
And if for no other reason, it just gives us a chance to sample more of the Fire soundtrack.
Yes. Come on, Waylon Jennings.
Oh,
they just playing it hard.
This is all you haven't gone anywhere, but it's cute.
All the songs we haven't put that on the soundtrack that we have.
Like, damn it, we got 15 more songs. How do we get it? It's cute.
You don't guess? Without the guess? Oh.
It's going to be Boeing setting the fire.
มีของขวัญปีใหม่ให้มึงด้วย
I'll take the presents.
เพื่อ ลองดูก่อน
Oh.
I remember that.
น่ารักชิบหาย กูบอกมึงแล้วใช่ป่ะ เห็นไหม ถ้าถ่ายคนที่รู้มุมมึงดีๆอ่ะรูปออกมาเป็นแบบนี้แหละ
Angles.
So
กูชอบนะ ขอบคุณนะมึง
He knew the angle
แต่
from
กูคงรับไว้
behind.
ไม่ได้วะ
What?
แล้วกูคงไม่รับข้อเสนอของมึงด้วยอะทำไมวะ กูว่ากูจะกลับมารักตัวเองให้มากกว่าที่รักมึงแล้ววะ
But for real this time.
กูขอโทษ กูจะไม่ได้จูบใครแล้วเว้ย กูจะมีแค่มึงคนเดียว ขอโทษจริง
Oh.
You're leaving in the morning.
กูคงไม่ได้อะไรแล้ววะ
For the rest of the night.
แล้วมึงไม่ต้องโทษตัวเองแล้วนะ มึงฟังกูนาตัน อันนี้กูไม่ได้จะด่าด้วยนะ แต่กูว่าบางทีอ่ะ คนอย่างมึงอาจจะเหมาะกับการอยู่คนเดียวมากกว่า อย่างที่กูเคยบอกมึงไง ว่ามึงอย่าพยายามอะไรที่ไม่ใช่ตัวเองเลยดีกว่า มึงทำได้ไม่นานหรอก แล้วคนอย่างมึงอะนะ กลับไปใช้ชีวิตสนุกแรงๆอย่างที่มึงชอบอะคงดีกว่าที่ต้องมานั่งเอาใจคนเพ้อฝันอย่างกูอะ
That's not life.
Happy New Year นะมึง กูดีใจนะที่ปีนี้กูได้รู้จักมึงแล้วก็ขอให้มึงโชคดีกับชีวิตที่มึงเลือกที่นิวยอร์กแล้วกันนะ
It's the fucking most adult thing.
We'll always
would've
have
taken
the
the
audio
picture.
tape I recorded.
At least take the present, Nick. Oh.
It's me. It's a picture of me. I know what I look like.
But like one day when you have kids, you can and grandkids, you're like, look, your granddaddy was fine as hell. Look at this picture.
That's why I got Instagram.
ก็จะหนังสืออะไรตอนนี้เนี่ยทำไมไม่ไปหาน้ำอีก
ก็เราอยากรีบจัดให้มันเสร็จอะทำให้มันเรียบร้อย ตื่นมาปีใหม่จะได้เห็นห้องใหม่ จะได้เริ่มต้นชีวิตใหม่ไงพี่ดีหรอ
มิว ขอบคุณนะ ที่ทำให้เราอยากเป็นคนที่ดีขึ้นนะ
เราก็ขอบคุณท็อปเหมือนกันนะ ที่ทำให้เราได้เห็นตัวเองอีกมุมหนึ่งอะทำให้รู้ว่าเวลาเรารักใครสักคนหนึ่งแล้วเนี่ย เราไปที่สุดขนาดไหน
โอ้ยแต่มุมอย่างนั้นไม่เอานะ เราขอมุมน่ารักแบบเมื่อก่อนดีกว่า หรือยังไงอะกลับไปใส่แว่นไหม
Girl, my eyes work now.
เนาะใส่แว่นปะไม่เอาแล้ว
Oh, bye.
ท็อป เราถามมาดิเขาว่าเราแย่ไหมอ่ะที่เราไม่ให้โอกาสไอ้บอสตันมันนะ
ไม่นะ ต่อให้ความเร็วของเรากับไอ้ตั้นมันจะพอกันนะแต่นี่มันชีวิตมิวมีสิทธิ์ที่จะเลือกให้ใครอยู่หรือไปก็ได้ แต่ขอบใจนะ ที่ยังเลือกให้เราอยู่
Better take me against this bookshelf.
Near the biography section.
ตั้งแต่กลับมาดีกันนะเรายังไม่ได้มีอะไรกันเลยนะ
I know, I've been here.
ก็ช่วยไม่ได้ท็อปไม่เริ่มเองอ่ะนี่เราก็รออยู่นะ
ก็คิดว่ามิวยังไม่พร้อมอ่ะ
ไม่พร้อมอะไรเราพร้อมตั้งแต่บ้านแม่แล้ว แต่ก็แค่ไม่อยากเริ่มอ่ะกลัวทำไปแล้วมีคนแถวนี้ร้องไห้ไปด้วยอ่ะ
Oh.
จริงเหรอ
ป้า
งั้นเราจะทำให้มิวรู้เองว่า
I'm hearing a lot of talking right now. Not.
What you been missing?
มิวพลาดอะไรไปบ้าง
Crying during sex always ruins your mood.
Come on, soundtrack. Oh. Yes.
Not in front of my books.
Yeah. Now we just need Boeing to come in and make it a three-way. I want this fucking three-way.
Oh.
Oh, rude.
เป็นไงบ้างมิว นี่เพราะว่ามิวบอกเพื่อนว่าให้เราเต็ม10เลยนะ เราทำเต็มที่เลยอะ
It's still the best I've ever had.
แต่แค่เคยเจอดีกว่านี้แล้วอ่ะ
เดี๋ยวนะ
Right?
เราไม่ใช่คนแรกของมิวหรอ
ท็อป
Oh, not you been lying this
คือ
whole.
ว่า
I must be joking.
I was gonna say plot twist
Lying,
season
yeah.
2.
Right?
ล้อเล่น
Like,
But I mean, I don't have to be
back.
with-
แต่จริง
Yeah, it does.
เรา
It
ก็ไม่ได้สน
does.
หรอกว่าเราจะ
I'm
เป็น
on like
คนแร
my
กของมิว
fifth
ห
or
รือเป
sixth
ล่า
virginity in life now,
Come
so
on,
it's
yeah.
fine.
ท็อปจะพูดว่าแต่มิวเป็นคนสุดท้ายนะ เราวิ่งไปอ้วกในห้องน้ำไปนะ
เราไม่พูดอะไรเสลอนั้นหรอก
เกิดอะไรขึ้นนะท็อป
ฮัลโหล เจ้าที่กำลังควบคุมเพลิงอยู่อะไฟไม่ลามแล้ว น่าจะไหม้แค่ในห้องครัว
มีใครเป็นไรปะ
ไม่มีอะคนออกมาได้ทันอะ
Okay.
นึกถึงตอนเด็กเลยอะแต่โอเค ต้องขอบคุณมิวนะ ถ้าไม่มีมิวนิดเราสติแตกแน่เลยอะ
ไม่เลย เราไม่ได้ช่วยอะไรท็อปเลย ท็อปนั่นแหละ ที่มีความเป็นผู้นำควบคุมไปทุกอย่าง เก่งมากอะนะ
ช่วยสิ ก็เพราะว่ามีมิวนี่แหละ ทุกอย่างมันเลยโอเคอะ
Did we set a whole building on fire just for this? Character.
That's where I am right now.
We're outside in your bedroom flippers, getting them wet. Okay, it's because they wanted to get another song in.
It's a good song.
แซน
ฮะ
กูว่ามึงกลับไปทำเหล้าขายดีกว่าปะ
ทำไมวะ
ไม่รู้ดิ กูว่ามันน่าจะเป็นธุรกิจที่สร้างตัวมึงได้อะกูไม่อยากให้มึงมาเลิกขายเพราะว่ากูด่าหรือว่ากูประชดอะไรเงี้ย
มันไม่ใช่แค่นั้นนี่มึง ถ้า ถ้ากูจะอยู่กับมึงอ่ะแล้วกูขายเหล้าไปด้วยอ่ะมันก็เสี่ยงกับมึงไง
สัตว์ถ้ามันจะเสี่ยงอ่ะกูไปที่ไหนมันก็เสี่ยงปะเรามันมีมึงจะบังคับให้คนทั้งโลกเลิกขายก็ไม่ได้ปะถูกไหมกูต้องสู้มันด้วยตัวเองดิมึงต้องไว้ใจกูนะเว้ยเอางี้ถ้ากฎหมายสุราเสรีผ่านเมื่อไหร่อ่ะเดี๋ยวกูเป็นนายทุนให้
สัตว์มึงไม่เคยได้ยินเหรอคนเป็นแฟนกันอ่ะทำธุรกิจด้วยกันมันเสี่ยงนะเว้ย
เสี่ยงตรงไหนอ่ะก็กูรวยอยู่แล้วปะกูแค่อยากให้มึงรวยด้วยอ่ะ
Then just give me your money
เพราะไฮโซคุณหนูเล่แต่ถือว่ามึงดีลแล้วนะ
โอเค
Come on soundtrack
What's the point of all these rich characters if we're not pulling our boyfriends out of
แบรนด์เก่ามึง
property
ชื่อว่าอะไรนะ
Oh god
จูดอะมึงกูตั้งตามเพลง Hey Jude ของ The Beatles
กูอยากได้ชื่อที่มันง่ายๆแต่ก็ยังมีความหมายอยู่อะแบบเลแซนไม่ก็แซนเลไหมกูว่าชื่อเราสองคนอยู่ด้วยกันแล้วมันเพราะดีนะ
Come on
ว่าก็ดีนะแต่จริงๆกูแอบชอบแซนเลอะฟังแล้วมันคล้ายกับซันเลดีมันให้ฟีลแบบแสงแห่งความหวังอะมึง
กูต้องยอมมึงใช่
Yeah basically
ก็ดีเหมือนกันนะจะได้เก็บเงินด้วยกันแล้วก็ไปเที่ยวเทศกาลดนตรีรอบโลกด้วยกันแม่งดีว่ะขอบคุณมึงนะที่ทำให้ชีวิตกูมีเป้าหมายขนาดเนี้ย
มึงก็ทำให้ชีวิตกูสนุกขึ้นมาเหมือนกัน
Oh the sounds
ASMR Okay, we got closer to a couple of relationships. You still need.
Oh, that's.
Well, there's still 4 minutes left in the video, so
right.
I'm going.
That's probably a preview for the next GMMTV series, or no? Okay.
กูขอบใจพวกมึงนะเว้ยที่ชวนกูมาเปิดโฮสเทลให้อ่ะ
Thank you
ดูดิเห็นพวกมึงตั้งแต่เมาเหมือนหมามาตั้งแต่เฟชชี่อ่ะวันนี้พวกมึงมั่งมีธุรกิจกันแล้วอ่ะโหกูบอกไว้ก่อนเลยนะเว้ยทำธุรกิจด้วยกันมันไม่ใช่เรื่องง่ายนะเข้าใจเปล่ากูเจ็บมาเยอะยิ่งเนี่ยพวกมึงเนี่ยเป็นคนใกล้ตัวกันเนี่ยยิ่งต้องใจเย็นเข้าใจป่ะแยกให้ออกเรื่องรักก็เรื่องรักเรื่องเงินก็เรื่องเงินเข้าใจไหมมิตรภาพดีๆอ่ะมันหายากพอๆกับผัวเลยนะเว้ยโชคดีไงมีพวกมึงเป็นน้องที่ดีแล้วก็มีแฟนที่น่ารักแบบปักเนี่ย
โอ้ยเจ๊เกินไปปะเนี่ย
เจ๊นี่เจ๊จะอวยพรหรือจะอวยผัวเอาให้แน่
มึงอีเชื่อมตลอดเลยนะอีเชื่อมนะอ่ะขอให้พวกมึงแม่งรวยๆแล้วกันนะเข้าใจปะกูกับปักจะหาเวลาว่างสักปีละ300วันชวนปักมาสเตย์เคชั่นที่นี่ล็อกห้องสวีทไว้ให้พวกกูด้วยนะเว้ย
เจ๊ถ้าเจ๊มานะเอาไปทั้งโฮสเทลเลยเดี๋ยวปิดให้
พูดแล้วนะ
อ้าวจริง
มือถือกูอัดเสียงก่อนได้ปะ
พี่แต่ว่าเราตื่นเต้นมากเลยอ่ะ
โอ้ยไม่ต้องตื่นเต้นเชื่อเตรียมทุกอย่างไว้เพอร์เฟกต์ทุกอย่าง
ใช่เชื่อไม่ต้องกังวลเลยรับรองว่า4 มือออกแบบของเราเนี่ยรูปเต็มโซเชียลแน่นอน
ทุกคนดูมีส่วนร่วมกันหมดเลยอะแต่กูมันไม่ได้ช่วยอะไรเลยอะ
โอ้โหไม่ช่วยอะไรมึงเป็นแฟนเจ้าของนะเว้ยแล้วก็เป็น best supporter ทางใจที่ดีที่สุดของกูช่วยเยอะสุดเลยรู้ปะเนี่ยฮะ
โอ้ยแหมจะรักกันทั้งทีเนี่ยก็เกินลิมิตกันไปหน่อยไหมยังไงฮะเฮ้ยลืมไปเลยอ่ะนี่ไอ้ตั้นอ่ะมันฝากรูปนี้มาให้แกะนี่รูปนี้เลยเจ๊ดูนี่นะเป็นรูปวันแรกที่เรามาที่โฮสเทลกันน่ารักปะเฮ้ยแขกมาแล้วเว้ยมึง
เชื่อเร็ว
เดี๋ยวเราพูดเหมือนตอนที่เราซ้อมไว้ Welcome to OnlyFans Day เราพักกันแบบเพื่อน
Oh, hello.
Yes. ผมจองห้องเตียงเดี่ยวไว้ครับ
Doesn't have to be single for too much longer, baby. How you
ไม่ต้อง
doing?
ห่วงครับ ที่นี่พวกเราทุกคนเป็นเพื่อนให้คุณได้นะครับ
Yes, we can.
งั้นขอเป็นเพื่อนด้วยคนนะครับ
Yes, you can, baby. Come on with it.
Oh, mix and Mew.
I swear to God, Earth better be coming season 2.
Oh my God. I want them all come.
Girl, preach.
We've come to the end of Only Friends, and not everybody stayed together. So that was
Get my way. I love my life.
right. So let's start with the relationship that didn't stay together, Boston and Nick.
I mean, I don't want to see anybody get their feelings hurt, obviously, but they had two different kinds of ideas of what this relationship could be. And I just don't think that there was synergy between those two kinds of relationships. And that's life sometimes. That is life sometimes. Like I've said so many times, love is not always enough. If love were enough, I would be married 50 times over. I would have so many husbands. All these little GMMTV actors, we would be married and just living in some big old loving polyamorous pod or whatever. But, love is not always enough. And I think that was just the case here, because do they have feelings for each other? Do they care about each other? Yes. That was apparent since episode 1. And as we've watched their journey unfold, we only saw it even more. They separated, they got back together, blah, blah, blah. They care about each other. That's never been in question. But I just think that they are two different kinds of people with two different ideas of what this relationship should be. Season 2, maybe there'll be some big revelation and all of a sudden they magically float back together. I don't need that to happen either. Sometimes people just don't work out. They can still be friends. They can still end on good terms. They can still whatever. But sometimes people just aren't meant to be in a relationship. And that's life. So I'm fine with it. I'm glad that Nick was kind of making that sort of definitive, I'm cutting it off here. I love this gift. It is beautiful. My body looks snatched. I am giving all kinds of sex eye to this camera. I'm slaying. This picture is absolute fire. And I would love to hang this up in my boudoir and just be like, look, y'all, look how fucking fire I am. But this picture is going to remind me of you. It's going to remind me of everything we've been through. And right now, I am not in a headspace where I can have this picture. Maybe in 2 years or something, they might be cool and he could have that gift from him. Okay, yes, this is a memento of something that happened in the past. And he can look at it without it bringing him some sort of, I don't know, negative feelings or whatnot. But right now, baby boy is making that decision. I'm going to love myself more than I love you or anybody else. I'm making myself the priority, and I'm just going to eliminate those potential traps to kind of just lure me back into that old Nick. I can't have it. I love it. I can see the heartfeltness that you're giving me with this gift, but I can't take it. I can't take it. I'm just making this clean break. Good luck in New York. Happy New Year. Peace out, baby.
I think my reading of Boston and Nick is a little bit different. I am glad that they didn't stay together. And I think it's refreshing that we went that direction in which we didn't see Boston's growth for a reason. It's because he didn't either grow or he didn't need to grow in that capacity for Nick. I don't think he cared about Nick. That's the canon in my head. I think Boston is a very selfish person, but so am I. So that's why I understand it. Like,
you are Boston.
Right. I knew that from the beginning, but
come full circle. Great.
At that age, like, he was only trying to change himself right when he knew it was going to end. Like, the initial conversation was like, this is who I am, baby. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then when he was being broken up with, he was like, oh, I can change. Like, there's a part of him that is lonely that I feel very sorry for. And like, Neo did a great job portraying that intense desperation and sadness. But at the end of the day, he's only with Nick to meet his own needs, which is what everyone does, I guess. But like, there's never a point in which he makes concession for Nick. So it's always Nick making room for Boston and stuff like that. And I'm glad that Nick had the self-respect and the advice to go, if this relationship keeps going, I'm the only one who's going to keep sacrificing or compromising what I want out of a relationship. So yeah, I'm glad Nick had that insight and he had the growth to consciously make that decision to leave Boston behind, and even though he had this fantasy of kissing at New Year's, he didn't follow through or get tempted by it. I don't see any harm in taking the picture, but yeah, I like the way that it ended, and I think at least Boston finally recognized that he did need to make adjustments just even to have friends. And even though he thinks he can do that in New York, Mew made a point in which, like, you know, that you still have to change from within in New York. So yeah, I'm glad that the show didn't make any sort of concessions in trying to portray Boston and try and change him. In terms of like, love is capable of making him a different person. So the graduality of the whole thing and Nick's growth was very satisfying.
I'm glad that Boston didn't change that much because it was only over a semester. And not everybody's going to change over a semester. Like, not some changes take longer. If you want to change the parameters in which you want to be in a relationship, you have to do it for yourself. You have to want to be in a monogamous relationship. You can't be in a monogamous relationship for your partner because eventually that's going to be like, all right, whatever, this is not working out. And you have to have those honest conversations, and it just shows that you have honest conversations. I'm glad Nick got that growth, and I'm glad that Nick starts and I think the relationship between Nick and Sand was very important, especially for Nick, because he took on what Sand said to him. And he's like, okay, I gotta love myself and things like that. Him not taking the photograph, I agree with Nick, because it's like, you know what? Sometimes, especially when you know the relationship is going to be over, you don't want things reminding you of that person around just because you have to get through that heartbreak. And that things like that to remind you kind of sometimes hasten you trying to get over it, because then you're thinking about the good times. She's like, oh, well, you know, it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Bitch, if it wasn't that bad, why aren't you still together? Boston really didn't change because he was still always going to go to New York. He was always going to, even when he came back for the New Year's, like, oh, I can be the best boyfriend for you for 6 hours.
I won't kiss anybody else.
I won't kiss anyone else. Because changes don't happen over time, and especially with something that big. I think it's going to be more of a time thing. If he doesn't have to change anything at all. He can actually be just, if he wants to practice ethical non-monogamy, just have those conversations with his partners. And actually, there are a lot of people in the queer community that practice ethical non-monogamy, but you have to have conversations. You have to be ethical, and you have to be honest, which honestly, Boston is built for that because he'll honestly tell you that I'm not going to do this or I'm going to do this. I'm going to fuck this person and stuff like that. So, that's that. I think Boston is built for doing that, but he has to be honest with everybody. What do everyone think about Top and Mew?
They were cute.
I guess, or no, I guess.
Yeah, I've like I said, last episode, I was fine with them getting together, and I didn't see anything that was going to happen this episode that was going to suddenly break them up. So they were just pretty much on the trajectory that they were last episode. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. They had great conversations, which I've already said is the reason why I'm fine with them ending up together. Because it's not like that sort of typical series trope where it's like, okay, they're the ship, so we're going to just smash them together at the end because we got to put them together. We got to sell this merch with their faces on it. Okay, here's our ship. It's like, no, they actually, in the last episode and a half, 2 episodes, they did the work. They did a lot of that heavy lifting that I needed to be done before I can get on board and say, okay, they're actually trying to make this relationship work. They're not just, okay, I love you, I forgive you, let's go back into just doing the exact same shit that we've been doing the last. It's like, no, they had conversations. This is what I am like when you live with me. This is what I am looking for in a boyfriend. These are my boundaries. Here is my box. Here is your box. Let's try and get these boxes to fit into each other. We will see. If we can't, then okay, we will address it. But like, they had conversations, and I'm very happy that they had this conversation. So I'm happy for it. There are a couple plot points in this series that were kind of open, and then just nothing really happened with them, which I'm fine that happens. But I feel like the whole fire thing was just I feel like it was trying to reference what we already learned about Top however many episodes back. Like, okay, yes, he can't sleep, he's got this sleeping disorder or whatever because of this past trauma. When he was a child, there was a fire, blah blah blah. Okay, so I thought that, because I remember seeing the preview of the fire at the end of last week's episode, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be like some big emotional I don't know, breakthrough or something. Something's going to happen with Top, and we're going to get like this deep exploration. And it was just kind of like, there was a fire. We left the building. The firemen came and put out the fire. Great, I guess. Like, I feel like we were referencing whatever moment we had back there, but we didn't do anything with it. Like, nothing came up. It was just I don't want to say it was pointless, but it felt like a pointless moment to have in this big finale episode where we could be doing all kinds of, we could have had some more of plug in or like there's a lot of things that could have been done with this time that we chose to make a reference that didn't really serve any narrative purpose. Like, no conversation really happened. Like, Mew's like, are you okay? Like, yeah, I was just reminded of this time when I was a kid. I'm good now. Okay, great. I'm glad we spent the last 4.5 minutes on this scene.
I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot that he had trouble sleeping from a fire and kids, because it wasn't a main thing. It's like, oh, I have trouble sleeping, but it wasn't like it wasn't central to his personality. I didn't get that it was central to his personality, just he has some trouble. And I thought Boeing was coming over there. He was having trouble sleeping because Mew was out of his life. This is just like, I guess it was there, like, but I'm just like, I totally forgot that. The fire at the end, I was just like, what are we doing this for?
Obviously, the purpose was to show how Top it can overcome his fears with Mew by his side, but like it was definitely irrelevant. I think the problem with Top and Mew is that they're so basic. Like, their personalities are kind of like meh. Like, Mew is like, I read books, I'm good at school, and I'm a virgin. for like 2 episodes. And it's just kind of like, Mew had a good arc in which he became bitter and revengeful, and then he went back to being like sad. I mean, he went through the patterns of, okay, this is what happens when you get cheated on. But in terms of like having Mewisms or like having an essence of who Mew and Topher, I don't get an individual kind of like vibe from them. They're just kind of representative of your basic protagonist couple, and you know, one's rich and one's kind of rich, and he's got lesbian moms. Even the lesbian moms, you know, which is great for representation, it just didn't add anything to him. Like, I'm just kind of like, Mew is kind of bland. But I did appreciate the maturity of their relationship in the end, and how the growth that we saw in them. You know, forgiveness is possible, you can move on. Maybe you're moving in too fast, who knows? But yeah, Mew, 100%. How he dealt with Boston, I appreciate, and I thought was perfectly normal. And I like that they kind of didn't have to do the whole, oh, we're all friends again sort of thing. I think it's totally fine to never forgive somebody who slept with your boyfriend while you were their friend. So
I really feel that Mew and Top's purpose as a couple were to show just how, like, to go through it and to deal with issues. And that's why they were the only ones who really talked about stuff and did the work and got there. And even when Mew told Boston, he was like, yeah, don't compare what you and Top did, because he's done the work. He's going through that. And so to show that there's a process as far as them being any like attainable or anything like that, I'm like, okay, whatever. But it was just, they were just a vehicle for me as a process to see how basically they were doing on screen what the lesbians were doing off screen, because the lesbians also had one of the healthiest relationships. And for the lesbians, like Chum and April, like even their like, disagreement was like, sorry, Chum just telling a white lie, saying, oh yeah, I it's like what people do, and it wasn't that bad compared to everybody else's original sin. But they had that, they talked about it, they worked through it. And I was like, okay, this is healthy.
Oh, well, just for Topher and Mew, I think, because there was a very similar storyline in one of JoJo's previous shows, like Friend Zone. And I think this is just like a re-exploration of that, of cheating. Because I don't know if it's some sort of like reconfiguration or re-exploration of how a couple deals with that, but I wanted to draw that parallel in case anyone else has watched Friend Zone. But I have no thoughts on Chu and April, so Topher, to you, I was kind of like, they're there.
Yeah, that's where I've been with them the entire series. I feel like the majority of the series, they've been underutilized. They've just kind of been there. The last maybe 5 or so episodes, I saw a little bit more incorporation here and there. But yeah, I felt like all along they were just a great example of just a nice, healthy relationship. What can happen when you have these sort of effective manners of communication and establishing your boundaries and this, that, and the other, and just talking through your problems, resolving your issues, which is probably why we didn't see a whole lot of them, because the series is all about the madness and the chaos, and we don't want to spend too much time with all that stuff. I enjoyed them, but just like I've been saying it all season, I would love more of them. I'd love more of Yo and Plug. They just kind of pop in for 30 seconds an episode and say something, and then they disappear for 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, that's fine.
I don't know. To be honest, I found, actually, if I think about it, I found Chum to be annoying and abrasive.
Well, yes, but I'm just talking Chum and April as a package unit. If we're talking Chum by herself, there's that apology she gave the boss and the shit. But I already said last episode that I knew she wasn't going to apologize in a way that was going to satisfy my needs.
She was always calling people out for being a virgin or a slut, and I'm like, whatever, Chum, or an alcoholic or a dog. I'm like, she wasn't the best friend. And
None of them were.
Like, you should.
But she had this holier than thou attitude. She's like, I'm in a stable relationship. Haha. Y'all should be too. Why aren't you? That's what I got from her.
That's what you got?
Yeah.
Okay. What about Plug and Yo? I guess they just ran out of time or ran out of space. I mean, they could have probably used that 4 minutes of the fire for that. It seemed like Yo had this great big problem with a relationship, and it was out there, and it felt like it was being teased for something, and then nothing, and now they're together, and it's just like it would have. I would have really liked to known more about that relationship instead of like always having blowing or the fire and stuff like that. That relationship would have been very interesting to me because I think also what it had to be or could have been about is about her identity and having to deal with her identity and also dealing with guys who are either committed to her or not committed to her and running away and that fear. And I think that would be a great vehicle for some type of that representation and also some type of that discussion. But it didn't go there. So I was like, I want a little bit more of that, but it is what it is.
Again, just another sort of plot line or thing that was opened and then just never really kind of resolved, which I feel like either we make it a longer series, so more episodes, 14, 16 episodes, so we have time to explore all of these plot lines that we're opening, or trim the fat. Like one or the other, because like that plot line we talked about Boston's dad and his whole political career and how we thought the whole sex tape thing was going to ruin that, and that just kind of like, okay, vanished. Don't know. Did they? I'm assuming they got a passing grade on this thing. Did they get an A? I don't know. Ray's dad and that whole thing kind of capped out when Sand was giving him money, and like, okay, well, there's stuff that we can, like, there's a lot of things we can explore, and there's still a lot of basis for like a second season. So if we open the doors for Only Friends 2, there's still stuff we can explore. But I feel like there's like some of the pieces here. Yes, I love to explore mix. But yeah, there are lots of pieces that just kind of were opened and either just vanished, or opened and then just like, okay, it's resolved now. Hi. And I think it's kind of a little bit of a disservice when it comes to like your storyline, because I can only think of maybe less than a handful of series that I've watched on this channel that had like real trans representation. And I can only think of 2 where that was like part of the storyline, not just they had trans actors or actresses playing parts in the thing, but like that was part of the character storyline. Like there were trans people in the series, and those difficulties were part of their storyline. Not Me and Why Love Why are the 2 that are coming to mind. I've seen other series that have had trans people in them, but that wasn't really part of their storyline. So I feel like it could have been a very powerful, or a moment for some really great exploration into the difficulties that some trans people face when they're entering into relationships or when they're in relationships, because I am not a trans person. I don't know. I only know what some of my trans friends have told me or what I see in media and whatnot. So I think it could have been a really great moment, and the door was there. They opened the door. Like, yes, she's got these insecurities about dating, blah, 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 blah. And we opened that door, then they broke up, vanish. Okay, we make up and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's a whole like in-between area there before we made up that we could have explored. But I get it. It's not her series. It's not her series. It's not about her necessarily. So we don't need to add any additional long drawn out storylines when we've already got all this other stuff going on. But by that notion, then don't add the storyline. Like, if you're going to add it, explore it. If you're not going to explore it, don't clog the we got enough shit going on. So if we're not going to adequately explore certain things, then just trim that fat and just.
I mean, it was a pretty new face that I wanted to see more of. I was like, who is this gentleman? Who is this nice person to look at? He looks, out of the cast, I was drawn to him a bit more than the others. I was like, let's get to know this new person. And we never got to know him, so I was like sad about that. But I think people were saying that their relationship struggles were only a vehicle to show Sam's emotional journey.
Found a different vehicle.
Right.
And yeah, that is annoying in terms of like, you know, they're just being used in that way, which I didn't really understand, because I guess they were trying to say like Sam was afraid of letting Ray in and loving, but I didn't think that was their problem. So in the end, I didn't really understand how Sam tied into it all.
Sand and Ray. It's interesting because Ray got, I thought at one point he got some of the most development as a character, especially going to his past, especially going to his mom and drinking and things like that. Sand got a lot of comparatively speaking. I'm just saying comparatively speaking, within, as if there's fully fleshed out characters, but those two got the lion's share of development as character. Also Bowen's there, but we'll talk about Bowen later.
Like you said, they got a lot of development throughout the series. Like, I know it's an ensemble series and there are no main characters, but Ray is the main character. Like, Ray was treated as main character. He had the most backstory. He had the most like involved character arc. He had just so much happening for him throughout this. He was woven into every single nook and cranny of this series, where like Top and Mew, like, yeah, they were woven in a little bit, but they were over here. And then you got Nick in Boston. Yeah, they had connections, but they're over here. But like Ray was in all of this. He was in everybody's shit, and he had his own shit going on. And it's just such an interest. Like, I could go on like character analysis mode on Ray for hours and hours. He is such an interesting, complex character to analyze. So I think that they did a great job with developing him. And I'm fine with where his and Sam's relationship is right now. I was confused for like the first half of the episode. Last episode, we were mentioning, okay, well, how come how come Ray is out here drinking, blah, blah, blah. They're in the bathtub, they're doing this. And then we talked about maybe it's not abstinence. He might be doing, you know, other forms of treatment. And the people in the comment section were very adamant to let me know, like, yeah, he can't just quit drinking. You know, he can't just go cold turkey because it's meant to his health, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, I get that. That's cool. That wasn't something that I had thought of, but yes, to go from full force to just straight abstinence, maybe it is a little bit too much of a jarring jump in, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, okay, maybe he is doing a more mitigated, you know, wean myself off versus just like stone cold abstinence. But then within the first 5 minutes, Sam's like, why are you drinking? And it's like, I'm only drinking at home. I'm like, weren't y'all just drinking in the bathtub last episode? So are we not doing this mitigated and you're like, you can only drink, but just don't get out of hand. So are we not doing this mitigated thing? Are we doing abstinence? Like, what is this program now? Because I don't understand what is supposed to be happening. Because Sand is out here acting as though like Ray shouldn't be drinking at all because he's still doing his rehab. And I'm like, what? I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on anymore with this rehab, but I don't know.
Ray's allowed to drink unless it's a problem for Sand. Sand's like, why are you drinking and causing this drama? That's what he was doing.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy with where their relationship is now. Because, I mean, lots of reasons. A, they're cute. They have so many cute moments. They make it hard not to want to root for them. But I don't know. They just seem to be, for right now anyway, on the same page. And I think they both realize that it's not necessarily going to be an easy road ahead. Recovery never is. You can have all the optimism in the world, but it's hard. There are the good days and you got your bad days. I've tagged along on some recovery, journeys myself. So I know there can be those good days and those bad days. But I feel like they're on the same page, and I can appreciate Ray taking some semblance of accountability for himself, because he was there towards the end. He's like, you know what? I think you should go back to selling alcohol, because throughout the episode, Stan was talking about all these things that he was giving up because he didn't want Ray to be tempted. I'm going to stop singing in the bars because I don't want you to come visit me and then get tempted by all these people around me. I'm going to stop selling alcohol which again, I probably would have similar sort of thought process. It's like, hey, this is someone I love. This is an issue they're struggling with. I don't want to dangle this issue in front of their face. So maybe I will also abstain from this issue while they're going through recovery. I would probably have that same thought process, but Ray's like, hey, there are going to be temptations everywhere. Literally the entire world is full of these temptations. And while I appreciate what you're trying to do, I have to hold some sort of responsibility. You have to trust me. And also I have to be responsible for myself and keep myself accountable for the things that I'm doing. So please don't give up your entire life because baby, you sell alcohol and you sing. That is what you do. You just said you're not going to do it. What are you going to do? How are you going to make money? Not saying he is incapable, doesn't have any other skills, but all we've been shown in this series is Sand sells alcohol and he sings his ass off. What you gonna do? How you gonna pay your bills? How you gonna support your mama if you're not doing any of the things that are making you money, baby? So it's like, baby, no, it's okay. So I appreciate that, and I'm optimistic. I hope for the best for them, and we will see come season 2. Mix gone. I don't know who exactly that gaze was for, because Ray's like, we can be your friend, and then we flash over to Mix, and he's like, I would like to be your friend, and then we flash over to Mew. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. I don't know what drama we're about to dive up in here. I don't know if Mew or Mix is gonna start causing something with Ray and Sand. I don't know, but I'm hopeful for them. And if there is a season 2, I hope that we get just as much development for them as we did this season.
For instance, I appreciate obviously the conversations and the awareness about addiction that it brought up. It opened my mind a little bit more. And the relationship was nice. I think the issues are the fandom for Cao Tung and First eclipse the other two in terms of popularity. And so how the editors were making changes during I think it's because the fandom is so concentrated on those two on the show that it kind of put the other people's storylines to the wayside a little bit. I do like how their relationship progressed in terms of, obviously, it wasn't 100% loved, got him to stop drinking, blah, blah, blah. Maybe, but he still eventually got to rehab and started that journey. But I was annoyed that Sand had to apologize for what happened at the start of the episode. Yeah. And so I didn't really understand, yes, it's cool and sassy that Ray gets to defend his boyfriend from Boeing because Boeing's trying to get with everyone, and that's why he's a villain. Because he doesn't love them, he's only pretending to love them. He's Boston 2.0. I'm just like, whatever. Showing Ray in this new light of I'm protective and stuff, and I can do it. I don't know. It just was unnecessary, and then getting Sand to apologize was unnecessary, or to initiate the apology was unnecessary. But also for me, I don't necessarily like how that relationship ended up being all about Ray. And, I guess there was that little bit at the end where Ray's like, you don't have to give up your whole life for me. You can still do what you do. But it felt like the second half of the show was about how Sand now his whole existence is to care about Ray. The fact that he still needs to work and for his mother, that kind of just fell away and fell flat, and it wasn't really a factor. It was a factor in the back of my mind when was considering taking the money from the dad to send him to rehab, but it was never. I never felt like Ray ever acknowledged how hard it would be for Sand to have to do all these things, to take care of him, to go with his appointments for community service and to rehab while still trying to work and make money. So it just rubs me the wrong way that I don't feel like Sand received the appreciation that he should have. Even though he was like insecure and jealous that Bowen was back, a part of him has to know that this guy really cares about him, and wish there was an acknowledgement of that. I trust you now. Like, I believe you that you're here for me for the long run. You know, I'll never doubt you again, blah, blah, blah. It's just, I think Sam got taken a bit for granted in terms of how good of a person they wrote him to be. And it's just kind of like annoying that, oh, it's a flaw that he can't turn down Bowen when it's perfectly understandable.
My thoughts about the whole Sand-Ray relationship is that I really had a problem with Ray accusing Sand of everything that he just did in the previous episode. There was no self-realization about that. But that being said, maybe because he's early on his recovery, he was early on his recovery journey and started to take you get some actualization, some realization about you and yourself in the world, and you stop blaming other people. And I see at the end where he started taking responsibility for himself, but then also that whole thing, yes, you know what? I can see Sand saying, you know what? I'm going to stop selling alcohol, but if we move in, I don't want you to have all of this around. And even with him, okay, I'm gonna keep selling alcohol, but I'll keep it in a different place in the house, and it won't be and negotiating that kind of stuff. I see Sand, his personality as wanting to be self-sufficient. And also he took care of his mom, he took care of this, and he's just the type of person who always takes care of stuff. So he was even reluctant to take Ray's money at first, because he's just, I don't know, some people are raised to be self-sufficient individuals and like to have their own things and their own bills, and you can't tell them what to do, because you know what, motherfucker, I pay the rent. Don't come over, and if you're going to come over, that's the one thing I had a problem with. I was like, who the fuck is coming at my house? Y'all, everybody got to call before you get here, or that door ain't getting open. Why? Because I paid the bills, because I worked my ass off and I paid the bill. And I just see that Sand was that from the beginning. And he was like, people offering him money. He's like, motherfucker, I don't need your money. Like, I've done this before, and I was okay before you. I'll be good after you. And it was much more of that. I'm glad that it was brought up that Sand was like, why are you drinking? And while some people will say, oh, you know, you don't always, but no, that wasn't Ray's thing. It was about him not drinking, going cold turkey. And that is still, while there are some people, a small percentage of people who are like, okay, we'll taper it off. But even if you taper it off, you're doing that in a controlled setting, not just out in the bars or whatever.
Out in your house.
Right. It is controlled. It's watched. It's in a medical setting. It's not just like, honor system. You're right, because that is, you can't control your drinking. That's why you can't do it to begin with. So it wasn't under control setting, and he was just out doing it. And I'm glad that Sand was at least there, like, you know, and that's why I asked that in the bathtub. I was like, is that beer or is that just whatever? And there was nothing like, there was no labels on it. It could have been ginger beer, whoever.
I suppose.
Right.
I guess.
Right. So it could have been, because, but I was just asking about that. But I'm glad that for the first part, it was Sand cared more about Ray's problem than Ray did. And at least in the last episode, Ray started to care more about his problem than Sand did. And that is actually where recovery happens. Like I said, you can start it from the body, but you keep doing it. And when he started caring about it, not just to get Sand back, and I like his view, it's like, it's something I'm gonna have to do forever. You like, it's just forever.
That's how it is.
And it's just a day at a time, forever. I would have liked but I don't know, maybe it's in the second episode, maybe second season. All right, we started not drinking, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff underneath it there about the mother and all this other kind of stuff, and also why he drinks and why he uses substances to mitigate what pain. If there was like a hint of that beginning on that journey, I'd be like, okay, that's cool.
That is a good point. Like in that therapy session, instead of seeing Sand, he could have resolved an iota of mother something there, but it was left open. It was kind of all about the relationship instead of as Ray as an individual.
It could have been a nice jumping off point, but then also maybe at the end, maybe taking out that fire. And so I'm just back on taking out the fire.
We didn't need the fire.
Nobody needed the fire.
Mew and Top, they were fine. They were fine. We didn't need
They
the
hired a whole
fire.
fire truck for that scene, and everyone's just like, what?
But what does anyone think about the way that Boeing was utilized, not utilized, underutilized? You didn't get your threesome.
I did not get my threesome. I am so upset. I don't even think I got a three-way kiss. Like, we were close. Sam was getting up in there, and then he's like, no, I'm out. I'm like, no, couldn't you figure this out 5 minutes later? Like, give me something. Come on, Sam. Also, Sam's father, that's a whole other plot line that was open that we just kind of left open. So add that to things we can address in season 2. I don't know. Boeing, like I said last episode, I think he just showed up too late to explore. So he just was just a generic villain. Like, we're just painting him as someone we don't like. And that's it. So he tried to mess with Mew and Top. Okay, we don't like him because we want Mew and Top to get together. All right, then he tried to mess with Ray and Sand. All right, we don't like him because we want Ray and Sand to get. Now he fucked with Boston. So okay, we really don't like. We're just like layering on. He's the villain, so let's just shit on him. We have a target to hate, so we're just gonna okay. That's all he was. Yeah.
Everyone else got a semblance of nuance. Like, if they did something bad, they still had a bit of a reason. Boeing was a bit too black and white for me. Like, if he's hurt by Top and wants to get back with him as some sort of revenge, or I don't know what he was doing. I just wish there was a bit more of an explanation. Show us their relationship. He just felt like a punching bag at the end of the day. Unfairly. Yeah. Like, bring this hot guy in, make everyone hate him, and then he scoots off. And it's just, if there's a reason to dislike him, I wish there was an actual reason. Just because he's going against the main characters, it didn't feel fair that now they get to look good by comparison because he's trying to steal people's boyfriends. He has this, like, lack of moral code in terms of being a homewrecker, but, like, other than that, like, is he so bad? I don't know.
I don't know anything about him. He dated Top. He dated Sand. Yeah, I know nothing about him. I don't know any of his motivations. Like, why does he want to? Okay, yeah, he wants to fuck with Top or whatever because he broke his heart, I guess, after 3 weeks.
And because he adjusts his glasses like this, he's evil. It's just
he's an anime villain. We know. I've seen it. We've all seen it.
Can't we just adjust our glasses in peace? Like, come on.
He just felt like what Boston was episode 2. Like, he's the person we're all shitting on. We hate him, but without any of the actual nuance that we got for Boston throughout the series. There wasn't time for any of that, so he's just a generic fuckboy.
I didn't hate Boeing. Like, if we're supposed to hate him, I didn't hate him, because especially when he came back, because first for what I got from it, like, Top called him back because he couldn't sleep, and he was there, and he was like, okay, well, you called me back here, you know, obviously to help you sleep, and I'm tired of being here. Let's do. Okay, you rejected me. Fine. Mew, how you doing? Let's do something like that. All right, you know, okay, you rejected me. Fine. Let me go back to Sand.
He was playing the field.
Right. It's like everybody rejected him, and then he was like, okay, not even like he got rejected. He was going after Sand, and then he gets invited to this mansion in the pool, kissing and stuff like that. Best night of my life. Right. I'm not saying I should feel sorry for him, but it was not even if we say, okay, this was a malicious intent, I didn't get this malicious intent from him. Like he was just Jafar or something like that. He was there and he did that. And even with him cheating or leaving Sand to go to Top, there were still two people involved. And Top even admitted that he was not a nice person back in the day. So one person can't cheat on their own.
I kept saying, like, I'm pretty sure he walked away voluntarily. Like,
right.
Top didn't come and kidnap him and say, you my man now. Like, no.
But he didn't do that. But Top did, you know, put out that little bait and stuff like that.
But Boeing took the bait.
Right. They both did it. Somebody had to have the bait. Somebody had to eat the bait. And
it takes two. Well, I was going to say, no, it don't take two to that always. Sometimes you can do it yourself, but this Boeing as I was like, okay, is this the villain for the latter part?
But it was because he wanted to get back with Top, even though Top was with Mew. I think that was the original part of it. And then when Top rejected his advances, he went after Mew, and so it was all about the dubiousness of how he wanted to like hit back at Top for rejecting him, and then not being sincere in his actions in terms of like him trying to seduce Sand and pretend that he was in love with him again, but it was only because Top didn't want him.
Right, but when he got with Sand at the bar, Sand didn't say no. Sand didn't, and in fact, before even Sand said anything, he got invited to the pool. He got kissed Sand. So it was just like, okay, well, this is not my first choice, so let me go to my second choice. And
there's nothing wrong with that as well. Yeah.
So you're somebody's second choice. Oh well. Somebody's hot second choice. I can be the third choice, actually. No.
I'd be at the bottom of the list. Come on now. It's fine.
He's like, as long as you're a choice.
The show does do some things where it kind of stamps morality on certain things, such as, I'm not taking your money. That's the right thing to do. Even though you're rich, it's just kind of like both the characters who have rich boyfriends are kind of like, I'm going to make the money on my own, sir. So I guess we all disagree on some of the way things are depicted. Because I'm like, why say no to intergenerational wealth? Like, some people want that. Some people want access to that. I just didn't like how they were like, this is the right thing to do, everybody, is to make your own money. Yeah.
That's what you feel.
I agree with you, you know? I'm saying I agree with you. I'm just like, some of these things aren't so bad. Why are we making them so bad?
I didn't say anything about like making your own money. I just did the whole thing.
No, but No, but the show will draw a line sometimes, I feel like, in terms of, okay, this is right and this is wrong. You know, Boeing going after people when his intentions might be dubious is wrong. Being a homewrecker is wrong. That's why he's the villain. That's why we had our favorite characters confront him in the bar and say, you know, piss off, this is my boy. And it was meant to be like a heroic moment for Ray, I feel like.
I didn't even take it. Maybe they were trying to present it for that. I just didn't take it as that. None of these people are the bastion of morality, and trying to use them as a vehicle is just like, I think it's more of like, oh, we're getting through this.
I don't have intergenerational wealth.
what is everyone's final thoughts? For final thoughts for this series.
It was cute.
I agree.
It was cute. Like, there were a lot of things that I think that it did really, really well. And I think there were some character portrayals that were, the acting was fantastic. Don't know if I've given enough credit to that. The cinematography was fantastic. Obviously, the soundtrack was everything and more in life. So just from how the show was pieced together, fantastic. Yes, there are some things in the character depictions or, relationships or the storytelling or the pacing and whatnot that I was kind of like, could tweak this, but everyone has their opinions and that you can't please everybody. But I think it did some things really, really well. And I think that there's a lot of material left that if they chose to go the route of having a second season, they could. Hopefully, if they do, I will get my 3-way. Who knows, maybe they'll bring Boeing back because he's a fine-ass man, and there's lots of, maybe Boeing is actually Mix's character's ex too. Why not make that connection too? And Earth gonna come up and just give me a 3-way. That's all I'm asking. Just get 3 people together. Sand and Top started making out, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is gonna be the start of some weird fucked up 3-way, but nope, okay, I guess not. Just someone give me a 3-way. That's all I need from this series at this point. Everything else was I've talked ad nauseum about.
Somebody put that on a shirt and send it to Topher. Give me a 3-way. I just need a 3-way.
My P.O. box information is.
And then just like OnlyFans. I'm not only friends.
I mean, potato, tomato.
It's cute. Like, it's cute in the sense that it was alright. Like, it was good. All of the things about it was good, but it was not great to me. Like, I think the peak of it was in the first half of the season. I enjoyed the maturity of the relationships towards the end. But was I moved or was I blown away? Like, I think the only moment I was really into it was the episode 6 Mew reveal. Other than that, I don't have as much memorable feelings or big feelings as I have had maybe with other series. I just wish they went further in some way.
Some more death next time.
Not enough death.
And incest.
Incest,
but that's what people say.
3 ways.
That's what people say.
Lord,
when there's a friendship group that's so close.
No. I don't need that.
When a friend group becomes family, but then they start, relating with each other, that's what we say,
Yeah.
Do we not?
I don't. But
I don't.
You can say whatever you want to say.
Maybe it's an Australian thing.
People in the comment section.
Just like, no.
Everyone Australia in the comment section. Nah, mate.
No.
I'm just gonna take my last time and just say this little PSA and just talk to the audience. And this is a caveat. This is a caveat that people are probably not gonna hear, and you're probably gonna say, "Oh no, DC says this." No. Everybody who's using drugs and alcohol it's not a problem that you're using drugs and alcohol. People can use drugs and alcohol. If you're using drugs and alcohol and you feel like it's a problem, you feel like this is something off, you may want to search out some help. It would be best if, right now, you can go over to Google, look up an anonymous group. They have local anonymous groups in many different languages and local people that can help you. And you can just go there. Doesn't cost you anything. And just see what it's about. See if this is something they can help you with. So we've talked about it's a long journey, but just pick out an anonymous group locally. They have them in the US and France and French and Japan and Australia or whatever. So if you're watching this right now, and it's not, once again, like I said, I'm going to say it again, not because you do drugs or alcohol. But if you're out there and you just either think that it may be an issue or whatever, go and search out an anonymous group, whether it's Alcohol Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, Crystal Meth Anonymous. And this is also not a endorsement to any group, because I understand that there are rules against personal endorsements against groups and stuff like that. But I support you in order to go maybe consider starting on a journey of recovery, because your life doesn't have to be the way it is right now. You did that feeling or whatever, and it doesn't have to get worse. You have nothing to lose, just your pain and stuff like that. So that's what I wanted to just say. This message could go out to just like one of the many thousands of people who watch his reaction, and it may help that one or two people. And I'm glad. I support you. So go do that. Yeah, we've come to the end. Anything else?
Topher, we'll miss you. What are we gonna do without you?
I once again would like to thank the beautiful people of Femmes React for having me on this 12-week journey that is 3 months of life.
Oh my God.
I know that I am a lot to handle. I know that I just know. I know. I live with me every day of my life. I know that I can be a lot. So thank you for your patience, your understanding. Thank you for your audience for being as kind and receptive as they have been, except that one guy who was in the comment section for like the first 5 episodes. I don't know where he went. I don't know if we blocked him or something, but he felt some type of way. And I'm glad I hadn't seen him in the comment section since. But other than that, thank you. I've enjoyed myself, and I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I enjoy having you, Topher.
You don't love Topher back?
Please come back, huh?
Oh.
What'd you say?
You don't love Topher back?
I said I enjoyed him. What is like? You take your time to gush about Topher your way.
Starting drama, guy.
Right. I mean, just like, God damn, we've been 3.5 hours. Let us go. No, but I love you, Topher. I want you back. Please come back. I hope we do something again. Because you're a joy, and also just to have another perspective is also wonderful. So that brings us to an end, and with that, Topher must be leaving us for this, but also check down below for the socials to follow him over on his channel, Topher Reacts. It's great. And also he's over on Twitter. We're finishing up BSL OST month. We still got 3 more days and a dealer's choice. So of course, Topher is going to be bringing out all the rest of the Jeffree Star hits. No, I'm just kidding. But no, it's great. Follow us over there. Follow everybody on the socials down below. And hopefully, like, if the latest, maybe we'll see Topher again for our year-end thing.
Whatever.
Yes. Yeah, because we did that last year. Also, check on our channel to see the video of what we did last year with it. So it can be an annual thing.
Oh, DC, what are we watching next?
We're probably going to watch 7 Days Till Valentine, which is going to be coming out at about the end of November. We're really going to watch that because that also it's based on a BL story by the same guy who did My Ride. And I actually have already read the BL story, so I'm really excited about that. So. But if you still want to see us, catch us reacting, we can catch us over on Patreon. We're still doing a lot of stuff over there. We're doing like all the Japanese shows and stuff like that. So see y'all later. See y'all soon.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Ooh.
Boo.